What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again. Cali Death Podcast live, spontaneous live, episode 35. I got my resident homies with me, and I got Cary Geare. I got Greg Burgess. We had a rescheduling. We have to reschedule Alluvial. There was a time thing that happened last minute, so we're here live, spontaneous with you once again, and brought some, part two guests and brought some close homies, all wrapped in one package. What do we call it? The Craig beer package.
Like it. Trademark.
Yeah, dude.
You've been waiting for this kind of episode for a while, Anthony.
I know, dude. Well, it's like it's actually, going to be maybe a little bit of a challenge too, because we have, nothing to really build on other than just our friendship with this, So it's like we're just gonna have a bro down and then see where it goes, and go live with it. So we can't fuck it up, guys.
Jedi Grind's already in the chat. Shout out.
What up?
Yeah, what up, Murray?
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Dog? Yeah, dude. So Greg's over in Denver. Fucking Cary's down in Santa Cruz. You guys are both guitar players. Greg just finished recording an album with Legion.
That's right.
How'd that process go for you, dude?
Painful, but done.
Yeah.
But that was great. It was great.
How
I was
long were you guys in
just to build the intrigue because we're live, but no.
Yeah. Painful in multiple ways.
Uneventful. It's done.
It's Jesus.
Painful always comes with making art, though, dude. I think that if you didn't go through a little bit of pain and suffering making something, it's probably not the best you could have done with it,
Oh, well, in that case, dude, it was torture.
Yeah, dude. That's
So it's the best
awesome.
album ever made. That's what I'm hearing. The more the torture, the more painful it is.
No, just
better it ends up.
the bodily fluids, the everything. It was bad.
Here's a question to all you guys, actually. How many times have you thought about quitting your instrument throughout the time you've been playing it?
With the instrument or the group?
If you're just in the moment thing of like, fuck this shit, dude. I'm done with this fucking
Just
guitar.
like music.
Yeah, just fuck all of it,
Like,
dude.
Just I don't even want to listen to
Seriously,
it. I don't
I
want
would say twice.
Yeah.
Seriously, twice. Yeah.
Where you went to bed that night like, fuck this shit. I'm not going to do it tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, well, actually, okay, this is actually a pretty interesting story. So we had a tour with Arsis. Actually, that's the first time I ever met Cary.
That's right.
Wow.
So, man, I came out to the show at the Red House, the Red place,
Yeah.
like Walnut Creek or something. Yeah, it was awesome. That was really fun, man.
We did Chimera and Arsis back to back. And I, being a gigantic Arsis fan, was like, we had some internal problems with alcohol during that tour. That doesn't really need to go into detail, but like literally I came home from that tour and I was like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this ever again.
Yeah.
And then like a day later, because we had played my hometown for the first ever, it was the first time we ever did it. I ended up in my high school alumni newsletter, and then Chris Adler hit me up the day after he got it because apparently we went to the same high school, and it just told me he loved the band, and I was like, oh well, that kind of damn it, because I was like done. I was like not gonna play electric anymore. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna do classical from here on out because I had it.
Because specifically because of the Arsis tour or because of the newsletter?
Yeah. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with art. It was like it was Ex Mortis, Allegion, and Arsis. And
was it specifically because you were like upset with your playing, or was it just purely like too much partying, or was it both?
There was too much partying, and that resulted in just physical altercations within band members, and just it was horrible. Bad shows where members couldn't get on stage to play, and then we wouldn't get paid, and falling off stage, just horrible. It was a really rough tour.
Damn.
And then it was just between Ex Mortis, who were amazing, and Arsis, this was like the 10th anniversary of Celebration of Guilt.
Well, yeah. I know they played Diamond for Disease, which I was very very excited
That's the only
about.
one that matters, right?
No,
Yeah,
no.
Between the two, it was just like we were just sandwiched, and I felt like we looked horrible every night, and it was bad. So there you go. Look, I brought it down. We've only been on live for like 5 minutes. I'm already dragging us down in depression.
Dude,
it's the Cali Deaf fucking psychiatrist office.
Dude.
We're here for you, man.
We are, and it was my question that brought you there, dude. So if you're feeling depressed, I apologize.
That's right.
I just wanted to know. There's like been times where I just fucking can't get.
Anthony's all okay. First question: have you ever seriously thought about killing yourself?
No, I was thinking about my situations recently, just like times in the past where I, just couldn't fucking growl. And I'm just like, maybe I'm just fucking done with this. But then eventually I step away from it for a little bit and it comes back.
The whole response to seeing something good and being like, that makes me want to quit. Like, I never quite understood that. Like, I don't see myself in competition with those people in a way where I realize like, oh, I'll never be that good. It's like I'm just doing my own thing, and it's not even so much I take inspiration always. I'm like, that's cool that's what they're doing, but this is like my self-expression and that's theirs, and it's not like things like impact me in that way.
I think it's like a figure of speech more,
Yeah, I think that's more of a joke.
Like, I quit, man. You're so sick. But it's really like I'm like insanely inspired, like.
Yeah, I feel it's way more kind of what Greg is talking about, because I think there was one time where I was like, seriously like, oh, I think I should probably stop doing this, and it was after like a particularly bad performance. You know what I mean? That's when it was just like, that's when I was just like, this is like, I'm no professional. This is stupid. Like I feel like a joke. Like, it
wasn't that I felt intimidated by the other people on tour. It was just that I had let myself down by my own performances, right? Or I hadn't. Since that tour, I have a 2-month window where I get in shape for tour.
Yeah.
And that tour made me do it like I will be overly prepared from here on out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty much.
It wasn't like I will never be that good,
Yeah.
It's more like I just fucking shit the bed,
I remember I got kind of burnt out like at the end when I, left Decrepit and stuff. And, I was just going through a lot of stuff in life and changes and stuff. And I remember like having a conversation. I was just like with Matt. I was just like, dude, like I just like I'm so tired of just constantly having to play fast double bass all the time. Like I just need a break. I need like a vacation or something. And he was like, well, it's kind of like what we do, Like I just remember going like, yeah, I guess I'm in the wrong band and shit. But now I love doing it again. But it's just funny. I got to a point where I was just so like my feet were just like over it, dude.
And we were practicing like, like 3 to 5 times a week sometimes, like, and then then we go on tour and you're just doing that every night while lack of sleep and stuff like that. And I saw you slowly kind of just be over it and just be like, fuck, this is brutal, man. Like I gotta like get like be all gross and like fucking like rush to get all ready and then just go like really quick and then like take it all down, and like it was like this cycle that like, I mean, I feel bad for all drummers on tour. I'm just like, they're sitting out, they get there, they gotta set up their fucking like like little fort.
I don't feel super bad for the drummer of Weezer though on tour. It seems like it's got a pretty chill job.
He's also probably got like 9 people setting his shit up, but
like
it's like that. I mean, you have to get all your shit out like way before anyone else does, and then you have to set it all up. It's like this, like, oh, I'm gonna make this fortress real quick, and then I'm gonna play music on it, and then I have to break down my little fort, and then like put it back somehow, like make it not get destroyed in the van, and then like it's just like this.
The idea of like setting up like a pillow fort with like blankets and shit, like every time on stage, all bummed, all like fucking, it's all like super heavy pillows and shit.
And you have to use like a piece of tape on like a couple parts because like like it's all the rugged road.
You guys helped me with my kit though. I remember like
I was gonna say I helped carry with at least carrying. No, I would help put cymbals on and shit for him too.
And I'm like, sickness were all on the wrong stands, and I had to switch.
I know, that's why I didn't fuck with that.
They weren't tightened to the proper tightness or anything.
I never wanted to get into the like minutia of like, I'd be like, I'll carry the heavy things to the stage.
That bag was fucking heavy, dude, with the cymbals in it.
Oh yeah,
you lug that shit over your shoulder,
dude. Bass cabs or go fuck your mother.
My favorite moment.
Base cabs,
cabs, dude. Those are
dude.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Yesterday,
from my
like
perspective.
refrigerators.
what's his name?
Wheels.
Trevor is like jamming with this like stoner rock band right now, and he like comes back from practice and he's like, "Can you help me?" And he's got this Mesa Boogie 8x10, and the thing is fucking like 200 pounds. Like,
yeah.
Like it's like I'm like, dude, you're not. If you ever like tour out anywhere, like this is the dumbest piece of gear I've ever seen. It's like this is gonna cause like your van to crash. It's gonna cause like and carrying it, like literally carrying it for fucking 30 feet. I was like sweating. I was like, this is like excessively heavy. Like Ampegs are like a lightweight compared to this. You know, the Mesa is just like, we're gonna use like this heavy wood, and like the magnets and speakers are gonna be heavier, and everything's just gonna be heavier. You know, they like try to push things like to the max. You know.
And then it's like, okay, meet the stairs the narrow stairs that you have to go down to get to the stage. You know what I mean?
Has anybody played the Cat House in Glasgow? I think it's the Cat House.
No.
Dude, it's like 3 flights of stairs, and each one of the stairs is like 50 stairs, and it's super steep. But it's one of the worst load-ins I've ever experienced.
It's just like fucking Dracula's castle. Like it's all fucking like a turret that you have to go down.
Man,
Jared's in the chat.
What up, Jared?
Yo.
From Vortex Sword. What's up, dude?
Sick, dude. I remember helping my
Shout
brother
out to
carry
Vortex
his,
Sword.
Yeah, he had a Rhodes keyboard that he would take out gigging. He lived in LA and in like a tiny apartment, so he'd always be carrying the Rhodes keyboard up and down from his house. That was super annoying. Yeah. As a drummer, I don't know. I feel like when you set up your kit, I haven't toured that much, but it's kind of your Zen moment or your moment of Zen or whatever. And it's just like, you're just in the zone and you're just like rehearsing how the set's going to go. And it's kind of like, otherwise you have to talk to people. I always found that more difficult than just focusing on getting ready. So I don't know.
There's a sweet spot where it's like you're not rushed to set up, but it's like, we're going to go, it's not going to be a super rush setup. We're going to set up and then we're going to be able to play. You know what I mean? Like that, there is something nice about that where you can just like focus, you know, you drive in there. I mean, as long as you can like go to the bathroom and have a drink of water or something as soon as you get there. But like, yeah, no, I'm kind of with you there. Like the whole, like hanging out at the venue for hours and hours before you go on, like you got there too early or, you know what I mean? There's nothing to do nearby or whatever is.
I feel like that's why most people quit
that's what Trevor was saying.
It's like the people just hanging out at the venue. Like,
yeah.
Like sick. We're there at like 4 and like doors are at 7. And like, I mean, 4 is like kind of late maybe. So I mean, like Summer Slaughter, it's like, cool, we're there at 11 and doors are, you know, 2 or 3, but then like it ends at midnight. So you're like, all right, 13 hours at this place. And like, it just, and then you just drive forever again. And then you pack everything. Yeah. You pack everything up, drive forever again, and just hang out again. Like before Wi-Fi, I don't even know how the fuck people did that. Like, I mean, like, that's just like, you know, the backstage is just like a bunch of people on their laptop, like, I'm sorry, baby. Like, I love you. Like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But,
We did this. We just talked to each other.
Well, touring back in the day was
and
like,
we played hacky sack and
you get
got
handed
high and fucking started drinking as soon as we could start getting beers from the bars or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, show number like 300, like after like doing that, it's just like you're like, all right, dude, fuck hacky sack. Like hacky sack can go fuck itself. One thing I'm actually interested in, it sucks I can't elaborate more on it, but my grandfather used to play like for the Grand Ole Opry and stuff back in the day, and my dad said in the 50s, dude was touring, like traveling around and touring in the 50s. Like I don't even know, like with like horses, I have no idea, but like like I don't even, like he was touring like before like the term maybe was even out there, you know. He was like traveling state to state, like playing like these country western shows and shit. And like
I think they called that road work back then. You know,
you could probably pack a whole
in the
drum
road
set into the trunk
Spree
of
playing.
a 55 Bel Air, dude. You probably could put your whole
I don't
kit
even
back
know.
there.
I guess you just have to
guitars in
use
the
their
back
equipment.
seat.
You probably have to use their equipment. It's just like, oh, okay, we got a piano, and then they bring their guitars. Like, okay, we got a house piano that you're gonna use, and then we have guitars, and we have like, I guess, microphones back then. Yeah,
Probably even how it probably was
it's like
just house
Elvis
mics
days.
too.
It's like everyone had cones. They had like traffic cones. They just like sang
it's
out of them.
not that long ago.
Well, that is an interesting idea of just like, you just show up on a Greyhound bus with just your raw talent, and you go and just play whatever the fuck they have.
Yeah.
And shit.
I'm so glad that doesn't happen anymore.
Thank God. Oh my God.
But that's all I have to rely on. Screwed.
They're all okay, Greg, just sing your heart out. They're all no. It's 8 strings. I need it.
Speaking of tours, Greg, do you guys have anything announced yet coming up? Or is it still in the works?
We have the oh man, I don't even remember what it's called. Some death thing. Yes, it's in November. Archspire and Rivers of Nile headline.
Oh damn! I did see that.
Is it Faces of Death or some shit?
Yeah, Faces of Death. There we go. Like the whole VHS tapes that used to like be so great, they ruined your VCR. My age is showing.
That's like the sickest lineup I've ever seen on a tour, dude.
I think it's gonna get canceled. I
the best response ever.
Oh my god!
What is it?
All the tours around us, they're all folding, and we're like holding out. But
I was gonna bring this up because I was just screwing around. I went on like Lamb Goat or something just to be like, I wonder if there's anything to talk about like news wise, and it's just like I did see that where it was like, wow, there's a lot of tours getting announced. Like people are trying to get the fuck back on the road. And then it would be like, but the most recent stuff is like tour canceled. And I was like, like what is this? I wonder.
I mean, it's because it's European tour. I don't think it's I don't think that would happen in the U.S. because of our vaccination rate.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I see. Okay. What's that one that was announced in France? That crazy thing everyone's talking about.
Oh, the
Hellfest.
Like every band in the world's playing it, basically.
I did a deep dive on it. I did a deep dive on it, and like it looked way cooler than I think it actually is. I'm sorry to say. Like I was like, fuck yeah, I can see like this big band's playing this band, and then I looked at the small ones, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. They play here all the time.
There's some amazing, hilarious names that I'm gonna say once I find them.
Brain ass.
My eyes are so bad, dude. It would take me so long to look at that flyer.
All right, hit me. No disrespect to any of these bands.
I wish Brain Ass was playing because they're fucking rad.
Yeah, Brain Ass is actually
they're great. They're good.
Cary's basically saying that because if he laughs at a name, he doesn't want them to feel bad.
Hey man, we're all just doing our best out here. You know, we're all just having fun. I'm not here to talk shit.
We're a feel good podcast.
But if it's a really funny name, I will laugh.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh, dude.
There's gonna be some happy accidents.
Might have some things to say about it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Brain Ass, is that?
I'm still
voting. It's a real thing.
Yeah, they're great. They're a good band from Indonesia.
That's what Trevor from Black Dahlia fucking brought up on here.
But if you listen to them on YouTube, check them out. They're fucking rad.
They're good. I know. See, that's why I don't want to make fun of anybody too hard. You know what I mean?
That's just the name.
It sounds like a weird twist on Butthead. I think I already said that, but it's true. Like that's the first thing that comes to my head. It's like ass, butt, brain, head.
I think it's a good name. I think it's funny, but I also think it's a good name. There's nothing wrong with the name.
There's something about the way it sounds when you say it. It's real special.
Yeah.
Brain Ass.
Okay. Damn, I gotta squint to read this shit. Oh my god. Rectal. Bands. So it's rectal schmegma. Ooh. And then nice. right under them on the same day, same stage is brutal sphincter.
Fuck yeah, dude. I think I'm gonna like all of these actually.
Yeah,
get some shirts.
Brutal
sphincter, dude.
Yeah, but dude, okay, Deeds of Flesh. Can we talk about Deeds of Flesh?
Dude, that's so sick.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was an awesome surprise. I mean, obviously I'm not going, but maybe there'll be some cool footage that somebody gets, with fucking Jacoby being just the front man. That's gonna be crazy, dude.
First time in 14 years or whatever.
Because I was asking you guys about that. So he confirmed that he's singing, Jacoby?
Yeah. I can Facebook read you that also the post. Yeah, I'll pull that what he said up.
I don't see that. That's crazy to think about seeing that. It's gonna be sick, dude. With Craig and Ivan, right? And then with Darren on drums, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that lineup from the new album.
I think that's all just kind of what we're assuming because the only person who said anything more, like Mike Hamilton announced it, but he's not the drummer, so we're not sure. But Jacoby did say like I will be. Let me read it exactly. Hold on.
It could really be Mike or Darren, but he did the new album.
He said after 14 years, it's time to get back on the stage and pummel some crowds. Funny that'll be the biggest opportunity of our musical career. Sounds like it's him.
That's Jacoby.
Jacoby's post,
cool. Yeah. Sick.
Brad.
Mike's still just like, you know, kind of like a Deeds of Flesh spokesman, I would say.
Yeah.
You know? He just like, didn't he set up a booth somewhere recently? He was slanging that Deeds merch.
Yeah.
Joel likes booths.
So on tour, I would never mind. I would get lonely, and I found out about booths.
Those kinds of booths. I wanted to know what booths we were.
And so I went to a couple of them because I was being a good boyfriend at the time. And I was like, I'm going to get this demon out of my body before I make a decision that I'm going to regret. And people would go do their thing, and I would go to like the most disgusting area in the world and then hate myself walking out there. And then I did it a couple times and was like, that's disgusting.
You said someone was watching you one time, you thought.
Whoa.
I'm confused.
You did. You said that, dude. You were like, I think someone was watching me. I'm not down anymore.
Were you like, dude, were you like in Times Square in circa 1978? Like, where do you find booths?
Dude, there was booths. I mean, I don't know. There's booths.
Wait.
Any kind of sex shop.
Just to clarify, yeah, you know, random place. You'd find a random place, and Dave Ellefson this. Is that what I'm hearing?
Just removing FaceTime. Just no FaceTime. Just like I was practicing. It's like what Dave Ellison did to practice for that. It's like before a big concert. Like he knew a bunch of people were gonna watch, so he wouldn't, tried his ropes out for anyways.
Okay. I just was so confused. Like, I think that's what he's saying, but is that what he's saying?
Oh my god.
Oh man. Dirty old Dave.
There's a Mr. Show sketch that's like a porn store that's owned by a family, like two parents and a kid, and like just random people come in, and he has like the side hip change dispenser because people need to get change for their bills so they can go into the booths and shit. Yeah. So dude's like trying to buy the property, and then when they say no, we're not gonna sell, he just like stands there for a second. He's like, can I get change, please? And he goes and jerks off in the room too. It's like, I mean, dude,
I wonder if there's still
I don't want to be the dude who has to clean those motherfuckers for sure.
You literally like have a phone that's a booth now. Like if you need that. Like back then, like I can maybe see that, but like if you're going to a booth now, that's fucking weird.
That is weird.
Like you're you're doing it to be like in public.
Now
that's
it's like a fetish.
That's like a separate kink. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think cleaning it is a kink too.
I would say that's probably right, dude. The guy who or gal who decides that that's their career.
So Cary, what kind of guitar you got behind you there? What's going on over there?
What's a booth?
It's a Segway.
It's the Sex Booth 6000, dude.
That's how
Segway.
That's how we do it here. we were joking about like starting.
Right.
We were talking about the podcast, and we were thinking of ideas, and we're joking about having some music like at the Oscars when someone's like talking too long about a topic that's like just the music starts, and it's like anyways, so like
yeah.
Play you off. Yeah.
I think we had
playing the like Titanic theme song.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like.
It's like I'm not finished.
Kind of fades in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the better one would be like the Jurassic Park theme song. It's like just faded.
That'd be funny.
You'd get copyright strike for that though, I'm afraid.
No, we should write our own like
I don't know how YouTube works.
Similar song or something.
I just rode the Jurassic World ride 2 days ago. I was in Universal.
Oh yeah, how was Universal, dude?
Oh yeah.
It was sick, dude.
Let's compare
First
vacations.
time my kids. Where'd you go?
Catalina Island.
Ah, fuck, that's a pretty good one, dude. Yeah, I just took
hear
the kids
about
down
Universal.
to Disneyland and Universal Studios for a couple of days. Did the masks in Disneyland. I actually went mask free in Universal Studios. I was like, I'm outside most of the time. I still had it in the back pocket just in case I was going in. But even when I like walked into some places, I was just like, fuck it, dude. I'm vaccinated. They say I could be without a mask, so I'm fucking gonna do it. And I felt awesome, dude. It felt cool just to fucking be like, I could smile at people.
How long do you think
people see my smile?
How long do you think people are going to? Because I went to a brewery yesterday and I just brought it in my pocket, but I knew that the whatever was lifted. The order was lifted. So
on the 15th in California, everyone opened. Yeah, everyone knows that.
So I went. I was like, if I see people wearing masks, I'm gonna put on a mask because I don't want to be that one
guy.
So
I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm like, I don't know.
That's why I had it in my back pocket. But dude,
and I showed up and like everyone that was like, it was like half and half, and I was like, fuck, this is a predicament.
It's been like over a decade.
It's gonna be a minute.
That backlot tour is still dope. I'm kind of upset that they changed the King Kong section of it. it used to be just a huge, gigantic animatronic King Kong, and that was so fucking scary but cool to me as a kid. Now it's just like screens, and there's a badass battle between King Kong and a bunch of dinosaurs and shit. I haven't seen any of the new movies, so I guess he fights dinosaurs now, but it's
he's been fighting dinosaurs since 2005, dude. Come on.
Oh, sorry, dude.
Did you go to the Harry Potter side?
Jackson.
Yeah, that was the first time I went in there, dude. Got my sons picked out a wand. They got some cool interactive sections of the park where you stand on a spot and wave it around, and it actually manipulates shit around them, like fire coming out of a chimney on the building in front of them, or fucking shit. Yeah, dude, it was really cool. And they
did you do the roller coaster?
Did as much as we could in one day, dude, for sure.
That's a good coaster, I thought.
Yeah, the coaster and the one where you're flying around inside, and there's screens sometimes. See, it's like that's how I explain it. There's a screen here, and then all of a sudden it's not a screen, and then it's real shit, animatronics, and then back to screen shit again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
dude, I didn't know you were going to Disneyland too, dude. I thought you were just going to Universal, but you were like in my neighborhood.
Yeah, we jam-packed like 3 days. And dude, I saw some footage of the line going in on the 15th when everything was lifted, and it went fucking blocks down Harbor, and like most of those people didn't realize that you still need to have a reservation to get in.
Right.
So,
they're
like,
all, we'll just show up.
A massive amount of people got turned away. I felt like, fuck, dude. Like, imagine being the mom and dad bringing their kid to Disneyland, first time after a pandemic, whatever, and then they get turned away at the fucking front, dude.
They like drove all the way from Arizona and
just
shit.
like flipping off the kids, like, fuck you, get out of here.
You ruined our marriage.
But nah, dude, it was cool. It was like our first ever vacation. We would go up to Rockland. That's like the only thing that we would do during this whole thing, so it was cool to get out there. The kids had a ton of fun, dude, and it's always the best watching them do it. So
did you all get taken to Disneyland when you were kids? Because I was taken as a kid, and I loved it. I
went.
No, I never went, dude. I'm just kidding.
Right.
I live like 40 minutes away.
Awesome. Greg is out of the state.
There are people like that.
Have you been to Disneyland, Greg?
We would always go to Disney World.
Yeah, closer to Disney World.
Okay.
Fancy.
Which is basically, it is a city. It's like fucking 47 square miles or some shit.
Don't they have like alligators on the property and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Gotta watch out.
I think it's newer, dude.
It's
Disney World is newer than Disneyland.
Yeah. Disneyland's OG.
Oh yeah.
1955, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Actually hit up Anthony today about going to Disneyland. I was like, I want to just go to Disneyland for my fucking birthday. Like, who go? I haven't been to Disneyland since I was 5.
Dude, then you definitely haven't seen California Adventure, which is like,
let's go together, dude. I'll join you
there. And
that's how they get you. They're like,
there.
I was like, I want to go to Disneyland. They're like, oh, there's California Adventure now. Like, it's all. Do you want to add on to that ticket? It's like, oh, cool. Dude. My tickets are now $250 a piece.
I know, but just treat it like Vegas, dude. Just say you got a set amount of money that you're not coming home with, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Just be ready for like fucking $200 plus a day for eating, probably for you and another person.
Yeah, dude, I want to go to
and
Disneyland.
Drinks, because in California California Adventure you could drink, and they got cocktails, beers all over that fucking park.
Fuck yeah.
Do a Cali Def live from Disneyland, dude.
I think that like the U.S. government should like give a voucher to every American of a free trip to like either Disneyland or Disney World, like instead of like a
Dude,
and
Cali
going
Death
with
Adventure.
a child, dude. Go with the child. Like if you got a friend that or a nephew, niece, whatever. If you don't have,
just take any child. Any child will do.
Grab a child.
Grab a kid.
Grab a random child. Take them to Disneyland, dude.
Oh, the kids would be stoked for sure.
Yeah, dude, that'll last.
Interject. This is like a death metal podcast, and you guys have been talking about Disneyland for like
I was going to make a joke about that.
It's fresh on my mind. I literally drove 7 hours to get home.
It's close to our hearts. It's Cali Death. It's the Cali.
Where's my Jurassic Park music, dude?
Here, hold on one sec. I got all
Cary, what's that guitar you have behind you?
There's the new segment.
Exactly, yeah.
What I really want to talk about is this nice red box full of Schmeed project folders that I just got off of Amazon.
That thing's nice, dude.
I like them. They have good, you got your project description, your notes, and then you have a good scheduling block right on the folder where you can access it. You can see it right, in your car. Perhaps it's over on the other side of your desk. Line them up so you can see exactly what projects you have, and I highly recommend them. And they're Snow Floyd Rose, so you don't have to tune them so much.
That's correct.
All right.
So to go back to the live shit, I wanted to ask like the opposite question. Where's the one show that you think you came off the stage feeling like the most badass motherfucker after playing a gig? All of us. Or maybe not me. I'm just here.
Well, guess first.
I can't think of anything specific, but we did that real short run with Whitechapel. That was like our first little run of shows that we did. And that was, I had completely over prepared, and the crowds were big, you know what I mean? And I felt like we played those shows really well. I felt they all went really, really well. Like we played the Whiskey with Cattle, and that was really good too. But it's funny because this is so horrible, but it's the bad performances stick with me more than the really good ones that I should remember. You know what I mean?
I think that's a lot of us are like that for sure. When you fuck up or whatever, it's always going to stick with you more than the sick ones. But where it's like you're in a room and it's like everybody's energy is working, everybody's on. Like, you guys have any specific gig like that?
One. I have a couple actually. My first memory when we played the Red House where we met Cary, it was like we just did a headlining tour, and so the whole room was a circle pit, and then people were coming up with no pants, no shoes. They all lost them in the pit. They all started circling. They charged the stage the last song and did a circle pit around the band as we were playing on the stage. That was sick. We played Ozfest. We crushed Ozfest. That was good.
Nice.
And I think if our second show on 70,000 Tons of Metal, I have never really seen anything like that. That we overflowed the venue and they were moshing in the big hall of the cruise ship around the elevators. Because we overflowed it. We were right between. We played right after Psychroptic and right before Revocation, and I think we had the crowd on that 3, and it was very intimidating playing after Psychroptic, and then you're glad you're playing before Revo. But based on the crowd, I felt really good about that. They ripped the ceiling off the cruise ship, and I've had to sign pieces of the cruise ship around the world. And it was like a conveyor belt of taint because everybody's fucking wearing kilts and shit, and it's just balls, level as everybody's crowd surfing. The security down front's getting teabagged, catching people.
What's the cruise line that runs that, or does that? I mean, it's got to be a promoter or a promotional company that rents that shit to do that. So they're renting from a company.
I know it's $1 million deposit for them. And I don't remember the name of their company. No. Well, my wife was the PR director for 70,000 Tons.
Oh, no kidding.
A while back. So
that's crazy.
That's I forget all the cool shit you guys have done sometimes. I mean, I remember most of it, but I was like, right, 70,000 Tons. I was talking to Riley about that a little bit too at one point. I was like, God, that's right, you guys did that. That's so fucking awesome. Would you go back and do it again?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I think the guys had more fun than me. I was super sick. I think I had a bladder infection, on the cruise ship.
Gnarly.
So I was in massive amounts of pain. So I was slamming Advil and just trying to be the most positive guy. I'm not going to let this shit ruin my time. But it was still kind of rough. But getting to play with Carcass and Overkill and Testament, it was really cool. Scar Symmetry was right next to my room too, and we, I broed down with them many times. So that was
That's
like
so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. When Wilson, it's like, hey, would you like to go get dinner? And he's like, yes, I would.
Let's go talk about epic courses over dinner. We'll do the buffet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That last Scar Symmetry album I fucking fell in love with and just listened to it nonstop for like 3 months. And I hadn't heard anything from them before that album. I still really haven't gone back to that, but just that one more recent album that's supposed to be the first in like a trilogy or some shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's such a good album.
Yeah. What is it? The Singularity? Is that what
yeah. Shit's sick.
So is it like 3 or 4 days on the cruise ship? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's 4, maybe. Yeah, it's 3.
It just goes up. Where's it take off from?
Miami.
Oh, okay. So it's Western Caribbean.
Yeah, it was a weird. It was a great experience for sure. But
does it have any like? Where's the spots? Where's the spots that it stopped? Did it stop port anywhere?
We went to Haiti.
Oh, okay.
So Labadee, Haiti, which
that's where I've been. I've been there.
Is it that Labadee's owned by Carnival?
Royal Caribbean.
So yes, Royal Caribbean is.
I was prepared for anything. I was like, I think the island's owned by Nestle. Since you guys are back, I'll be right back.
Go for it. Yeah, it's totally owned by them. So they set up a spot for them to drop people off and go buy shit.
Yeah.
Go drink beers and sit on their beach is actually pretty dope there though. And there's some cool stuff you could do there.
Drink out of a coconut.
Yeah.
The first time I actually saw Greg play live was at the Holy Diver in Sacramento. You remember that?
Yeah.
I forget who you were playing with, but that crowd was fucking crazy. I was like literally like getting I was right next to the mosh pit and I was like,
was that the Cattle Goat Whore Whitechapel Allegiant?
I don't think so. No, that was a different one. I have no idea. I think it might have been, was Entheos playing too or something? Might have been Entheos. I don't even know. I forget. There was like multiple Friends bands playing.
Rings of Saturn?
Yes. They played. And like, was it like Lorna Shore or something? I don't even know.
Okay,
some,
I went to the Chain Reaction
sounds about
show
right.
of that tour.
Okay. Yeah. No,
was that Necrogoblicon?
Yeah,
Necrogoblicon. Yeah. What's up with that? I haven't really listened to them much. I just know that they're kind of like got kind of a shtick and like a funny front man.
Kind of a cool name.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost got a power metal type, happy vibe to it. They're good. They're great guys.
Would you call that a pun? That's not a pun. It's like a play on words or Necrogoblicon, Necronomicon.
Oh yeah. I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, they have a goblin.
I know who's the goblin. They're not supposed to know.
Whoever they get. I remember one time. Never mind. I'm not going to tell this story.
Nice save.
I'll say at the show I went to.
Talk about that story off the live.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hear it. Make a note.
Got to censor ourselves here. We're live, guys.
Yeah, they had a gnarly fan base that came out to that show for sure. Like when Necrogoblicon came on, people were going wild for it, and I'm not a fan, so I was like, oh, okay, like that's what these guys are here.
No,
for.
me too. I was very surprised at like the fan reaction and everyone running up like they're on, and people like running upstairs and shit. And I'm like, I've never heard of the band. I thought it was like a black metal band or something. I was like, had no idea. I'm like,
I knew it was kind of like almost like I always thought of like Band of Orcs or something, which is like a local band here where people dress.
Can we give them a shout out? I played shows with them. Those guys were pretty sick.
Band of Orcs,
those guys,
yeah, totally. Yeah,
we should get one of those dudes on at some point to talk Cali Death history.
They got to come on with full costumes on though.
That would be totally awesome and totally accepted.
That would be rad.
They
just do it in the heat of the summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right. Like get them, like August. Yeah,
right.
Like get them.
Yeah, they put together this like Santa Cruz underground metal compilation or Scum compilation, and we went over to their studio in Kanos, recorded a song for that, and we hung out with those guys. So
yeah, no, I think I actually listened, like had that or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a beer here.
All right, we're going to beer tasting.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a drink as well.
Okay, why don't you go grab it?
I have a beer too.
I'm priming with a claw right now, dude. I can't go Reno as fuck the whole way through.
Did you pour a White Claw into a glass?
Dude, I went wine tasting one time, and on the bus we had beers in the same glass, dude. It's chill, dude.
Okay, it's a nice glass.
It actually
clear.
washed it out.
It's
now.
like it's clear. It looks like a glass of water.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what. I should have just said it was water.
The holy grail of seltzers. Dude.
Oh, you got the Topo Chico or whatever they were talking about.
Yeah,
I
exotic.
saw those
pineapple.
being advertised down there. I haven't seen them up here yet. Have you, Joel?
No,
Topo
I didn't know.
Chico?
Ever since that the cupcake episode, I'd never even heard of it, and I'm seeing them everywhere now.
Well, because wasn't it just a regular regular mineral water company, and then they jumped on the seltzer wagon?
Yeah, and that's a better way to get in than a beer company switching over. I think like they had the mineral thing down, so they just like add a little splash of.
Yeah, I'm kind of with it. It's like when Coors does. It's like, dude, it's Coors Seltzer. Everyone's like, dude, get the fuck out. Like,
Yeah,
exactly.
Bud Light Seltzer. It's like
I just think of the way Coors and Bud Light taste, and I'm like, I don't want that mixed with my seltzer. Like, my brain
it could be the best tasting thing ever. I'd still be like, I don't know. It's like a stale beer.
It's like, could you take your logo off?
The new joke is that Coors and all that. That's just like beer flavored seltzer water.
yeah.
And
totally
pretty good. I like it.
One of them's trying to push like an organic thing too recently. I'm like, wait, it's like one of those Coors Bud. Somebody's trying to do an organic.
Try our organic malt liquor.
Yeah, it's organic Steel Reserve, dude.
Yeah.
What's next? Is it like is it gonna be what's that that shit that like babies drink to hydrate? What's it called? The
electrolyte or Pedialyte?
Pedialyte. They're gonna do like are they gonna do Pedialyte like alcohol next? Is that the next
spiked one? Pedialyte, dude.
Spiked Pedialyte.
I'm getting this weird signal. Like, hold on. Wait, where's this coming from? Hold on a second.
I am not hearing anything.
What is it?
I'm seeing that smirk.
Oh, wait, maybe
a smirk.
Oh shit, there it is.
What up?
Oh, look at this. Oh, I can't hear you, but I can't wait till we do.
There he is.
Oh, we got someone else on here.
Can I Yay, what's up, buddy?
Guys, hold on 1 second. Let me fuck with my mic.
We hear you. That's a big mic.
That's a fucking thick mic, dude.
Well, he is
SM7000.
That's a big old
Some
thick
intimidating girth you got going on there, dude.
So for the audio listeners, Riley McShane just magically appeared on the episode.
McShane in the membrane.
What up, Riley?
Yeah.
What's going on, dude?
I don't know if
now it's officially a party.
I don't know if you can hear us.
I see technical difficulties face happening.
Yeah.
I can't hear you guys for some reason. I'm blowing it. I'm blowing the whole thing. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We'll just keep going.
Breaking the fourth wall.
When you can, when he can hear, everybody call him Dr. Trashcock. That is a thing.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh. Look at that picture. Why do they have a picture of the singer of Killswitch Engage as his main thing?
Oh my god.
He's out.
All right, so
I don't see him anymore.
Dr. Trashcock. Not just doctor.
Doctor.
He's worked for that respect.
How long has he had that name?
We were playing a metal fest in fucking the Netherlands or something like that. I don't remember. I just remember the green room and him having a trash can on his cock.
There you go.
We were just talking about nails.
Wait,
and
like just in general,
sit with us, and I don't know. It was Dr. Trash Talk. That's how it became. If that's who he is in my phone.
Dr. Trash Guy.
That is my name.
There he is.
There he is.
I can hear you guys
Dr.
now.
Trash Talk. There it is.
Doctor, dude.
Speak of the devil.
Doctor.
Doctor. The
What's up,
doctor.
buddy?
I feel like Cary's been calling me Dr. McShane for a long time too. I don't know where all this shit started.
I might have thrown a Doc McShane at you. Doc Shane, dude.
Doc Shane.
I thought it was like West Coast Lightning.
No, that's Cary.
Oh.
Cary's Pacific Coast Lightning.
Oh,
Pacific Coast
Coast
Lightning.
I think I was Mad Dog or some shit.
that's right. It was
Yeah,
Mad
it was
Fast
Mad
Hands
Dog
McShane
McShane.
or something.
One thing I love the interactions between Riley and his dad on Facebook. It's probably one of the funny, like, I just love his dad comes in with like some sarcastic, like shit talking thing, like all like super, like all these undertones and shit. Yeah. and like just Riley's response to it, it's like has like the same thing just shot right back. It's perfect. I love it.
There was that time we played in San Diego and your dad held up the signs.
Yeah, we played at the House of Blues in San Diego, and my dad brought like signs that were like this big that said like you were supposed to be a doctor, like I'm just so disappointed. Like this is like a packed fucking show at the fucking House of Blues, with, like, Whitechapel and Cali Cap, and like there's my dad off to the side, just like, can you turn it down? Great, don't you know any nice songs? And I'm just like, oh my god.
When you used to snap, when you used to do the screenshots of you and your dad's text conversations, I'd always giggle at those, dude.
Yeah, he let it go to his head, and one day, it was actually right after the signs thing, one day he like added like all 600 people who liked that post.
He added me.
Yeah, for sure. And but then, like, that's fine, like whatever, like, you know, boost your friends list, I don't care. But the thing is that he would then start to like, you know, post his like, you know, boomer fucking posts that he makes, but then like start arguing with like fans. And so I had to like check him a few times and be like, Dad, like if you're gonna add half my fucking friends list, you can't start like political debates with them because you're making me lose fans. Like, stop it. So yeah, I stopped posting the screenshots. He's in timeout for the next 10 years.
Isn't that kind of their generation doesn't know how to separate that, you know?
Yeah,
I guess. I'm not saying personally your dad, but it sounds like my dad would do the same thing, you know, like it's just their generation.
Dude, the Facebook boomer. Yeah,
Facebook is like that's their Thunderdome, dude. The boomers, dude, that's like they fucking throw down.
One man enters, two men leave.
You're like, there's only fucking two genders. Prove me, you know. They'll just fucking go just throwing haymakers, dude,
just all day long.
Right, you look good, man.
I know you do look good.
Like we saw each other relatively recently, but it looks like you've lost quite a bit of weight, actually.
Yeah. I came home and immediately just started like hitting it super hard at the gym, and
nice.
Not at the gym, but like at my home gym, and then I like went on like this really strict like vegan whole food diet, and I lost a pretty considerable amount of weight pretty quick.
I see you with the shaker. Right.
Yeah. Well, this is fucking G Fuel.
Okay.
It's fucking like neurotropic fucking.
With the new Pedialyte seltzer or some shit. Sorry.
Yeah, it's my White Claw. I just put it in this to look healthy.
Nootropics. You fuck with the nootropics, huh?
Oh yeah.
Dude, when you got a clean diet, you notice those things for sure. If you're eating shitty, those things just fucking pass right through. But if you're like clean eating, dude, no doubt nootropics fucking work, dude.
Yeah. No, it's really good for focus. I was in the middle of like ending my work day. I've been like putting in 12, 14 hours every day since I pretty much got home, because I was just like away from the office for a month and a half because I was out recording the record, and then came back and like immediately started moving. So I've just been putting in hours trying to get things back on track, and this shit helps like a lot. It's like so good for focus.
Is there a lot of caffeine in there too?
It's got a lot of caffeine for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm super focused. It's weird, dude. I don't know. Like, I
know. Well, hey, man,
700 milligrams of caffeine, and it's got like a little bit of Adderall, but
cups of regular cups of coffee don't do shit.
I drink so much fucking caffeine that it's like I need it to like have my brain function at all. Yeah, see, you know,
I could drink a cup of coffee at 9, fall asleep at 9:30.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
If I'm tired, it doesn't matter.
Coffee has more of the effect of like a warm beverage to me than it does of like the caffeine in it. It's coffee makes me sleepy because I'm like, oh, it's so warm.
It's comforting.
That's what I'm telling you. You got to go cold brew, dude, and cold brew, not iced coffee. You go cold brew. You got the extra caffeine, plus you can have a pitcher of it in your fridge, and you just fucking hit that all day long. You're just flying.
So Joel, while I was out in Denver, they had this like sweet tea with lemon flavored Bang, and it was like the best thing I've ever had in my entire fucking life.
I've had it. They have it in some places around here too.
I haven't been able to find it since I've been back home.
I have a weird like my flavor is the strawberry something one. It's like the red one. It's like a newer one just came out. I know it's weird, but it tastes like a fucking like a popsicle or something. And I'm like, but I know which one you had. Actually, it tasted all chemically to me though.
That's what's crazy about those things, dude, is that
Yeah.
they taste like a bunch of different candies I've had in my childhood. So they're like trying to hit people with like nostalgia through flavor, but hit you with the chemicals and the fucking.
And I bought it like a 12-pack of it, thinking like, "Fuck yeah, this is like my fucking flavor." And then like,
there's one that tastes like fucking Sour Patch Kids or some shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
But day number 5 in a row of any flavor, you're just like, all right, I need to fucking mix this up a little bit.
So not to be the spokesperson for G Fuel here, but the one I'm drinking right now is called Bahama Mama because they name them stupid shit because it's an energy drink, but it's like a mango, orange, pineapple, coconut thing, and it's fucking so good. Dude, all their flavors are like that. They have like a peach crumble one that's just like.
I was over at Stansel's today doing Allegaeon shit, and I got home super late from the sand dunes yesterday, and he like I had to have something because I was half asleep, and it was fine until the very end.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was gonna puke.
Like, what did you have?
It was just like water. It was what you're drinking.
Oh, G Fuel. Yeah.
That's what all the G's drink, dude.
Oh, you're saying you got the powder at the bottom or something?
The bottom.
You gotta shake that shit.
It tasted like nothing until I got to the very end.
If you look
you
real
didn't shake
closely,
it well enough,
you
dude.
can kind of see it. There's like a little like wire ball in there, right?
Yeah.
And like that's what you need.
That's how I do my protein shakes and shit.
It like clumps and then like sinks to the bottom, and then you get like a fucking big old mouthful of fucking crack powder at the bottom of your drink, and you're just oh no!
Yeah, you gotta shake it, dude.
It didn't work until the end.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I was up for some weird reason.
Like Joel always says, you gotta shake it, dude.
Yeah, just shake that thing, dude.
Shake it.
No, those. I mean, even with the. You guys probably messed around with like the pre-workout and shit. Like those have. I mean, they even make the C4 like energy drinks now. And I remember I was like, oh, C4. I remember that was like a gnarly like fucking like buzz when I would have one. And I had one recently, and it just same thing. Like you drink it, and then you start itching. You're like,
yes. That's my experience with
it gives me
workout.
A weird itch, dude.
I remember. I read up on it. I remember when that first started happening.
Like Vicodin.
No,
issues.
it's some sort of like I forget what it was. It was some sort of it's the CO2 whatever the fuck they put in or something like that. There's something that they put in it that makes you itch and like
it's beta alanine. That's what it is.
Okay. That's what it is. I do remember that.
I only drink fucking alpha alanine, dude. I'm not fucking a bad joke.
So just straight this testosterone.
The steroids.
Makes me itch too.
Fucking back hit the C4 and your balls shrink and you just want to fuck everything. It's terrible.
Has there been like a recent like renaissance of energy drinks? Because I feel like I've never got super into them, but I feel like there was a ton of them back in like 2009, like a bunch of dumb ones, and then it all just became like Monster and like Rockstar and like a couple, and now I feel like I'm seeing dumber ones again.
A lot of the dumber ones, like during that era, they were still kind of like untested, right? So you'd have like high school kids drinking like fucking red lines and having heart attacks.
Yeah,
and like
that was the Four Loco business too.
Those red lines are fucking. It's like 4 or 5 hour energies or some shit.
Well, red line turned into Bang. That's what Bang is. It's like it's the guy, which I don't know if you guys saw the meme that was floating around a little while ago, but like someone apparently decided to look up what the CEO of Bang looks like. And he looks, I think I saw that. He looks exactly like he looks like how well new metal albums from the late 90s have aged. Like he looks like he never left that, but has been like doing diet cocaine in the form of caffeine.
Diet cocaine.
Like, it's brilliant.
Oh my god. I mean, they're addictive though. I mean, also too with bangs and stuff like that, that's pretty much what I stick to is bangs. But like, I literally like I'm drinking them. I'm like, I feel like it's like psychosomatic mainly. It's not even like after I'm like used to it so much. It's like I'm drinking them every morning, like starting off my like, all right, I got to get like the most caffeine I can at once to like look, especially nowadays working remotely. Like I just have my manager like staring at me, and I'm just like, I have to be like, like I have just bags under my eyes and shit. Like I'm like I got to drink a bang to like get back to baseline. But it's literally like I could drink one of those and go to bed for sure, easily. Like nowadays, which
that's scary.
Tolerance, that's all it is. But
300 milligrams of caffeine doesn't go as far as it used to.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Creatine was kind of helping a little bit, but then I wasn't working out, and they just gave me tits.
I just want to say I don't relate to any of this. I like drink less than 50 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Jesus.
You're a very healthy person.
How do you take your caffeine?
Just black coffee, but just like 4 ounces or less.
Whoa.
What?
Because, I was gonna say a cup of coffee is like 175 milligrams.
I'm starting to be able to drink it and not be wired all day. So I'm starting to get into where I can, because it used to be I would try to like get hyped and whatever, and I would just be like anxious. Now I'm like able to drink it and not be as anxious. So I might go down that route, but I'm already 30. It's not like I'm gonna just,
I feel like
you can spiral out. You still.
I feel like it's safe to say, based off of like how like accomplished in academia and like good at like every instrument he tries, and like now this thing with the caffeine, like I think Joseph is just like you just have like superior genes. Like you just
he's Swedish. I don't know.
I was getting donuts and coffee at 15 in high school, and he's like, dude,
I'm gonna categorically reject any idea that has to do with that. So
no, it's okay. We all know you're a cyborg, dude. It's cool.
We all know that by superior genes I mean robot parts.
You're a replica, for sure. We know.
He's transcended the realm, dude.
Everyone else in the family, that is true. That is true. That's that. Everyone else in my family who essentially is similar genes drinks a lot more of caffeine than me. So it's not just, I don't know what it is, man. I just tried. I wanted to be like the cool guy at the cafe, and I would drink like a cup of coffee and I'd be like, fuck, I'm like not going to sleep tonight. Like this sucks. I mean, like I can't focus. Like
wouldn't we all want that, dude? Just sweating. Natural energy. I mean, that sounds like
that's why we're drinking coffee in the first place, right?
We're trying to get to base level. He's there fucking all day, dude. He doesn't need his coffee.
God, those days that I like don't drink coffee, I fucking feel it, man. Like I don't get the withdrawals or anything. Like I don't get headaches and shit. But what's nice, actually, to pivot a little bit, is like when you've taken a few days off and then you have that first coffee again. You know what I mean? That first, maybe it's an energy drink or perhaps a G Fuel. That first one in a couple of days, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, people are asking into the chat a little bit about
what's up?
Yeah, about the new album. Obviously, with Allegaeon, we're pretty stoked to hear a little bit about that. I don't know how much you can divulge in this time, but what can we know?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's my favorite album we've done so far.
Nice.
I think it's the most well planned out album that we've done, at least in my time in the band. So like Proponent was like pretty well planned out, pretty well thought out, like before I got there. And the cycle went pretty smoothly up until release. And then I feel like after release, there was like a little bit of a loss of momentum. And then like the Apoptosis album cycle was kind of a disaster.
Great album.
We were just like touring too much. It was the kind of thing where it's like we were like tour, studio, tour, like just like not giving the album the time that it needed. Like we were listening to mixes for Apoptosis like through shitty earbuds on our phones, like in venues, being like, I guess this sounds okay. Like it's like we just didn't really have enough time to dedicate to to give it the TLC that it needed, the massaging. And with this one, with like no tours on the table and like having tons of time to write, and now like tons of time to be in the studio. We were all together at the studio. That's also a first for me, where it's like usually because we're all over the country, it's like you fly in, do your parts, fly home kind of thing. Like there's not a lot of overlap. Like this was the first time I was ever there for drum recording, right? Because usually it's like drums first, vocals last. So it was there's a lot more hands-on, and I feel like that really reflects in the end product.
I really like your new drummer that you got for leading.
Yeah. I picked him up through Continuum, so he got recommended to us. I can't remember who. Oh yeah, I do. It was the guy from Eighth Year, Josh, I want to say. And he recommended Jeff to us when we had to find a fill-in for Bloodletting in 2019, and it was funny because like we like hired him, had him learn the set, and then the guy who recorded it, Ron Casey, was like, "No, I'll do the tour. Like it'll be like, I've got time. Let's do it. Let's do the thing." And then like 2 weeks before it started, he was like, "Yeah, no, actually I can't do it." So we were like, "Fuck, dude!" Like, we hit up Jeff again, and we're like, "Hey, do you like still remember those songs? Can you relearn them in 2 weeks?" And he was just like, "Yeah, for sure." And he came out with us, and he fucking crushed it, man. He did a super good job. So when we got to new drummer territory, he was someone who immediately came to mind. But yeah, I really like the stuff that he does and he's put down.
He posts a lot in the Metal Drummer Nerds Worldwide Facebook group, where I see him posting a lot of cool practice routines and stuff. And he's just definitely one of those up and coming guys that I'm stoked has found like a sick band to be in. And hope I get to hang out with him someday.
Yeah, you guys were saying like originally that he's like the first drummer that contributed like actual writing to that Allegiance had, right?
Yeah, because like me and Mike always wrote the drums, and then it was like, yeah, do you want to like drummer would write his fills or whatever, but the parts would like be identical, and then you get guitar players writing drummer parts, and that it gets the job done, I guess.
Yeah. So what was the difference though? Like if you're comparing it to the last two albums, is there more like blast beats? Is there more like jazz shit? Like what's going on? And like
it's just more musical, I think. Yeah. It's just like drums are an instrument, you know what I mean? Like there's drum theory. Like there's a lot more to drums than, playing fast and playing accurately, you know what I mean? And like,
what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. 260 above is good. Anything lower sucks.
I don't know whatever he's blabbing about, guys. I'm just kidding, dude. I love what you're saying.
But I think he just knows his instrument really well. I think that's the biggest difference. No.
And a level of sophistication that has never been there before.
Yeah.
So I'll just say I remember hanging out with Chase at Santa Fe Spring Show and asking about the Bloodletting tour. I'm like, so have you guys found a drummer? And he's like, no. And I was like, interesting. And then you guys found a drummer. So yeah, that's all I was gonna say about that.
Yeah, it was
you wanted a gig, didn't you?
I don't think I could have done it as usual, or whatever I was doing. I'm not like regretting that I had to give that up to do something else or whatever, but I've always been interested in what Continuum's doing. So just
all I have to say about Continuum was like you guys had Gabe do a tour or something, and it was he was working on that when we went to NAMM together.
Yeah.
And so that turned into us listening to fucking Continuum for 8 hours there and back. Because he was like, I gotta memorize it. Sorry. Like I was like sitting like I was loving it, but I was like by like fucking hour number like 11, I was like, all right. Like, can I put on some like Tears for Fears or something? Like,
the anti-Continuum.
Yeah.
I love Continuum. I'm very detached from Continuum when I'm not like in it in the moment, right? Because like, like Chase is a homie, but like I don't really talk to him that much. Like he kind of does his own thing, and we're on opposite sides of the state now, so I don't really like see him. And it's usually like, hey dude, what's going on? I've got like 10 Continuum songs. If you're like down to write lyrics, I got you covered, bro. And I'm just like, oh, word, cool. I guess that's what I'm doing. So then I'll just like spend some time writing Continuum stuff. And I don't know if I told the story about what it was like recording the vocals for the last record on this podcast last time I was here, but it was horrendous. It was
you did, I remember, yeah.
It was you're talking about like up. It was already like it was like pre kind of like patterns were they pre kind of?
No. So I had to drive up, and I stayed there for like 2 days beforehand, I want to say. And I was like, hey, does this work? All this stuff. And he was like, yeah, you should be good. Sounds, should be sick. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then like the night before we were supposed to drive to Oakland, he's like, oh, actually, like I did make a few changes, and he made like pretty big changes to like 3 of the songs. So I end up staying up till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, like rewriting these parts so I can go into the studio prepared. And then I, wake up 4 hours later to drive to Oakland, and I get there and we just start like firing shit out. And then like 5-6 hours into the day, I'm like, oh, well, we're getting a lot done. Tomorrow should be fine, because it was Saturday. It was like a Saturday, Sunday kind of thing, right? And Zach, our engineer, was just like, oh, dude, I don't have you booked for tomorrow. Like, but this is the only day I have booked.
I can hear him saying that in my brain right now.
And I was like, what do you mean you don't? We have to do all the vocals in one day? And he's like, yeah, I just figured we would do like a 10-hour session instead of like an 8-hour session. And I was like, word, fucking tight. And so we do all the vocals in one day. And by the end of it, on 4 hours of sleep, 10 hours of recording, I'm super fucking beat. And I'm just like, yo, like stoked to fucking, I like mentioned in passing, like, yo, dude, I'm fucking stoked to fucking go back to Santa Cruz and crash. And Chase is just like, oh, yeah, dude, I did, cause like the whole, like he lives in like a converted hotel type of thing.
Yeah.
In downtown Santa Cruz. And so he gets like a hookup where it's like, yeah, if you need somebody who needs to rent a room, it's like $15 a night. It's like super fucking cheap.
Oh shit.
But the availability obviously is like really limited. And so he was like, oh yeah, dude, like I could only get you up through tonight, or up through last night. So I'm like fucking sick. So I like look at hotel prices in Santa Cruz and Oakland, and I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to spend like $300. So then after all of that, I fucking drove 10 hours back home to San Diego.
Why don't you hit a brother up, dude?
I wasn't thinking straight. I wasn't thinking straight, dog. It was
It's run deep, though. I don't know what you were doing thinking, dude.
It might have also, you know what I think it was, Cary, actually? I think it was during the dark times.
You guys were on the outs. That's what I was going to say. I didn't bring it up.
Oh, that's right. What year is this?
Yeah, I think this was like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't
remember.
Yeah, I think those were during the dark times. Those were the dark times. Yeah.
Straight feudal society. Just fucking warlords.
Tell me
no
about
structure.
The dark times.
Basic agrarian culture. Okay.
But I think real friendship shows like you go through the dark times and be able to come back together and then talk about those dark times as the past and your homies now.
Oh, it's good stuff. We had a very good. It was all a night at the Asti. It
was the night before I moved. It was the night before I moved home. That's what it was.
Yeah. No, I remember that. That was very important.
It was.
That needed to happen super badly.
Conversation.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. That you're right though. That would have been.
No.
Man, that would have. If you had hit me up, I would have fucking let you crash though for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
100%.
But yeah, it was a process for that record. So now every time I listen to it, I'm like, oh god, and I get these like
all those,
I get like cold sweats, and I'm just like, oh, oh god, do I have to drive 10 hours after I listen to this? Like I fucking
but hacking all that and
doing a death metal album in one day, just like not even like practicing with them,
just driving 10 hours after, dude. I could tell. Yeah, I would not
above and beyond.
Like, what kind of energy drink were you drinking then? Like, what kind
of?
That's exactly.
It was the Monster days, dude.
It was this cool energy drink. It comes in powder form.
I was gonna say,
they make it in Colombia. I wasn't doing coke. I swear to God, I wasn't doing coke. I was doing
meth.
that. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't worry.
It's cheaper and it lasts longer.
No, that was when I learned. Because I had never, I don't think, put it in practice up until this point, but someone told me, they're like, dude, if you're ever driving on tour and you get super tired but like it's your shift and you just have to go through it, put on like stand-up comedy, because there's this like chemical thing in your brain where it's like, if you're laughing at something, you can't be tired. Like you can't fall asleep laughing type of thing. And so I did that. I listened to a lot of stand-up specials on Spotify, and that got me home. That got me home in the last half of the drive.
Well, that's what keeps us up at 3, 4 in the morning when you're partying and shit too. Is everybody's just fucking giggling, dude?
Yep.
Yeah.
Having a good time.
Yep.
Some of the
that's why my parties always suck, dude. Just listening to fucking
nobody's
funeral,
fucking
dude.
laughing, dude.
Yeah. So you want to hear about Hegel's fourth dialectic?
Oh, I'm gonna throw on Noctambulant, dude.
Exactly. Yeah. Just sitting around, like falling asleep. That's why karaoke parties are so fun,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hilarious. Watching Joel sing Aaron Neville songs, duetting with Dan. Dan singing Aaron Neville's parts and Joel doing, Linda Ronstadt's parts.
That was hilarious.
I will say,
stuff. Yeah,
your going away party, Casey, in Daly City was pretty fucking epic, dude.
Yeah, those got kind of wild. I remember one time we had a karaoke party, and it was like just raging hard, and we were doing all these songs and like going for it, and it was like 2 a.m, something like that, and I got this knock on my door, and like it was like the apartment like security guy, and he's like, yeah, it's like super loud, and I was like, I've never got a complaint before. And then we realized all the windows were open. Like, so we were just serenading the whole neighborhood, just like, just like, on your wings like an eagle, just like at like 2 a.m, just like, all the windows fucking open, dude. Oh.
Dude, Casey's ability to sing fucking Iron Maiden is underappreciated, and it's really does, because Casey would like go to like San Jose State at the time, and he would like, he's all, I just sing Iron Maiden the whole time. Is all I do.
On the drives
there, and then like we were on tour. We were at this place in Washington. I forget where, but like we literally like it was a karaoke bar, and Casey's like, yeah, I'll sing, and just like literally sang an Iron Maiden song like perfectly. And the whole crowd was just like, like the whole place was going nuts. And Casey's like, cool, man, thanks, dude.
No, I remember
like handing the mic up. It was like literally like had the crowd like chanting. Like it was like probably one of the best like fucking like karaoke experiences I've ever seen live. Of a friend just going like just all mellow, walking up like, yeah, cool, and just like doing all the fucking hand motions and going up there and just like commanding the crowd. It's like, cool, all right, thanks a lot, dude. Because I mean, also the guy before him played the Toadies, so I mean, low bar, but still, like, I mean, Possum Kingdom was pretty good. But anyways,
Possum Kingdom is a fucking good song, all right? Don't fucking
don't
shit on the Toadies, all right?
Hey, I'm not shitting on the Toadies. I mean, well, so help me Jesus.
So I would just like to make a proposal that I would like to schedule a time for all of us to go to Disneyland, and then come back here and party and have a karaoke party.
That would be sick.
And I think we all got to do this. Riley, you're in Escondido. You're not too far.
What I like about this
Joseph's
is that me and Anthony could potentially sell this to the fam. You know what I mean? Like there's a you know what I mean? Like be like, no, we get a sick hotel. I'll only be gone one night. And they'll be like, what the fuck you mean you'll be gone?
And Greg, you got to be
like, there's a karaoke party.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
We'll even it out. I'll just give you guys, I'll give Taylor one of my kids. She'll have 2, then Bryce can have 2. Just even it out.
Oh, just even it out? Yeah. They're all, oh, honey, you got a big giant suite. And it's like, you're sharing it with the other mother. It's all weird.
Mother's quarters.
I was wondering about that guitar that guitar that you had made, Cary. I was wondering. So
Greg made it.
Exactly. That's why I'm bringing it up, because it's fucking so cool. Like when I came to visit in Santa Cruz, like whatever it was, like before COVID, it was like just before that, like in January, and I came to see you guys, and then I just like surprised you guys, and then I surprised Cary, and I came out. I was like, "What's up?" And I saw that guitar in the corner. I was like, "What's that?" It's like a custom Son of Aurelius guitar.
I know,
like,
it's fucking. So let me
and then you're like, "Greg got that made." So what's the story behind that? That's fucking.
My joke is that Greg traded that guitar for Riley.
It's not it's kind of half serious. It's true. It was a parting gift.
Fucking great.
Oh, he's like, take this guitar. I have your singer.
Like I had, I was with Jackson for many years.
Oh shit!
There, dude.
Dude, but hold that up, Cary, because you
got to stand up with it.
Hold that shit up so we can see. Yeah, dude.
Damn.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is my favorite part.
So Greg, tell the story.
Got some lyrics right here.
So cool, dude.
You make it, this life will be your legacy, man. This is
really so.
So the story is
2014. Son of Aurelius released Under a Western Sun, and then Allegaeon released Elements of the Infinite, and we traded. It was like a couple days before both albums came out. We traded, and the experience was pretty much like mutual, like masturbation. I would, but like it was to this day one of my favorite records of all time. Like it made such a huge impact on me. Just from like, if I only had a couple albums that I could take with me, that would be one of them. So it just meant a lot to me. So this was before Riley. And then little did I know that they were like, you guys weren't really playing anymore. Things had gone down. I had a note, and like, I was having the guitar built when I found out. And I was like, oh, well, this will look good on your wall, I guess. And then at the end, it was like, yeah, well, can I have your singer?
And I was like, yes, certainly. Of course. Like, no, I can't let him go with all the things that Son of Aurelius is doing. All of our important plans. Yeah. All of our, like...
was like, no, fuck metal, I'm done. I want to play pop music.
Yeah, I was in the
dragged him back in.
Yeah.
Was that like stereo days?
Yeah, with Brett.
Oh, Brett,
yeah. Shout out to Brett, dude.
Shout out to Brett. Yeah.
What's that song called? You don't own me. You don't own me.
Don't love me, I think is what it is. Yeah.
I like that song a lot, actually.
It's a good song. We had a lot of bangers, man. We had a lot of good tracks, but it was just one of those things where it was like, the reason that I like backed out of Son of Aurelius was because it was like, you know, I think I was the only person in the band that was like, so are we gonna tour on this album cycle, or like what are we doing? Everybody was like, nah, man, we just kind of wanted to like put it out. And I was just like, okay, well, this is like this is what I'm trying to like make this my job kind of thing.
Okay.
I have to pee really bad, but this is so good that I have to stay.
I really didn't want to put a bomb in this conversation.
No.
Yeah.
Pinch the tip.
I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty. It wasn't quite that severe. I mean, that's in retrospect, it's like, yeah, it was time for Riley to move on from Son of Aurelius because things were just sort of not where it needed to be. Especially with like Greg calling with an Allegiant gig, like, yeah, duh, of course. But I mean, we were trying to figure it out where it wasn't going to be. I know there was a lot of talk about like, oh, we'll be like a Cali death band. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like we'll tour, we'll be like the West Coast band. We'll make we had all these like cockamamie plans to like, as long as we're not traveling all the way the fuck across to the East Coast and all the way the fuck back, like I'm down to, you know, we are down to tour and obviously do this. Like, you know, I think speaking for myself, I mean, obviously I love the music and wanted to play it and like, and do something with it, but it wasn't quite. Where Riley was smart is, I think, when I was pitching stuff like this, I think it was kind of like, yeah, except no one is gonna really like, that's a DIY thing all the way. If you unless you want to do a full tour, like what it would involve, I guess what we would have had to have done is like sold it to a label at that point that was willing to like get behind it and like do the whole upstart thing, sell the rights to it and all that stuff, which was a thing to do. But yeah, I mean, at the time I was definitely, at that point I was so burnt on even the little smidgen of touring we had done, you know what I mean? I was just like, this doesn't seem.
I think that like another big thing was that it was just like, everybody had shit going on with their lives, right? Like Max had like just had a kid, like Spencer was trying to go back to school, like you were working like full time with your dad. Like I was the only one, I guess I should say, who like was available to tour. So that's kind of where like my head was at the whole time, was I was just like, you know, we're gonna release this album and then we're gonna like go on tour for 60 fucking days and like push shit out of it and sell it and all this kind of stuff. And when that wasn't the picture, I was just like, okay, well, like I'm also doing an Intimate Existence right now. And then that ended because they wanted me to do a 45-day tour for no money. And then
so you just agreed with me that sometimes
sort of. That's the thing, is that it was like with Son of Aurelius, it was like I wanted it to be like a, this is like our mutual brain trust, and like everybody's gonna like eat at the end of the day, and like it's gonna be different than like it was when we were doing these shitty $150 opener tours, like first to five type of thing. Like we're gonna cultivate it and like put in the extra work to make sure that like it becomes sustainable.
And I do feel like the dynamic, at least like when we had put that out, this is going to sound so cheesy, but like I felt like we really like it. We put that out and then it was like, oh, we're like a family now. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to like just a bunch of musicians trying to like go on tour and shit. It was like, so I could see that be like, well, if the fam goes on tour, we're just it'll be amazing. You know what I mean? But we never got that, that chance to really do that. And it sucks.
It is a beast of an album for sure. Like I see where Riley's going with like that album definitely should, like, everybody should hear that fucking album. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A 60-day tour is how everybody would have heard it. And so I understand that, like, I agree that those songs definitely should have been spread across the fucking planet as soon as it came out. But life is life, dude, and it doesn't always fucking work out.
And a lot of you have the people that are like, like that are hunting for like underground little gems and shit. That's one of them. That's one
definitely
that, like,
one of them.
You come across that like when you're, if you're getting nerdy about music and stuff and into metal and stuff, like you can find that if you're like a real like metal dork, like you'll find that and be like, fuck yeah, this is like, what the fuck? Like, why doesn't anyone know about this? And like, it kind of has that kind of Lebowski underground cult following.
I don't always text my homies about their albums. I had to text Cary.
Oh, I've texted Cary and Riley like 6 times. Like listening to it, and I'm like, okay, I'm crying right now, but it's not I love you guys and I'm crying. So I mean,
well, it's an emotional. I say it all the time. It's an emotional roller coaster, emotional whirlwind of a fucking album, dude. You're taking through all the dips and valleys of human emotion.
Just keep it coming, guys. Just keep it coming.
I kind of always hope that it will get a Trace in Air kind of thing.
Well,
like people will discover it, and then it will be like, oh, holy fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can only hope that record is 15 years ahead of its time. But even because that's kind of what happened with Cynic, right? Is it's like they did focus and like they toured, but like it was just way too advanced for like what else, all the other shit that was going on in 1991. Like, and then 15 years later,
did they really
everybody rediscovered them and was like, what the fuck? But you know what it really was? Like
they did a Cannibal tour.
With
Focus like back in the 90s and shit.
But that's it's so weird because it's like, bro, like you pair Cannibal Corpse with Focus, like it's so weird.
You hear that it was a weird thing for the crowd, like, but seeing that live too had to have turned some of those people as well.
I mean, I'm sure it did, but I think that it just like I said, it was like too far ahead of its time. But then what really happened?
They played in Death too. You know what I mean? Like they did Humans, so that's also part of why they were paired with Cannibal. You know what I mean? Like
but the crowd didn't have internet. There was no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so they didn't understand. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same kind of.
They were recording on VHS.
Continue, Riley. I just wanted to.
What happened was you had like the Faceless and Obscura, kind of bringing that back to the forefront, right? Like with the vocoder stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
totally.
And then all of a sudden, and like people were like, "Dude, this is so sick." Where did you get the inspiration to do this? And like in all these interviews, you had both of these bands that had huge hype and following being like, oh dude, Cynic all the way. And I think that like it needed that kickstart to get eyes back on them. And then once they had it, they did the smart move of being like, oh, well, people are buying our fucking old record a shit ton. Maybe we should make a new one. And then they did. And it's like the fucking goddamn.
And they put their full ass out on it too. You know what I mean? Which I just respect so much.
You're talking about Traced in Air?
Good album.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Traced in Air is so fucking sick.
You guys are seeing behind me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joseph's got all of them mounted up there. Sick.
That's
Focus and
that's Chris Beatty from Dreamer is just like they put these out on Sheet Happens, and he just bought them and brought them to the studio, and we're like.
Nice.
I remember when Traced in Air first came out, I was super excited, and it was one of those albums, and there's a lot of these albums in my life where it like I liked Evolutionary Sleeper, like that was like the one song I liked on it, and I was like, yeah, they got one good song on it, and then as I kept listening to it, then it literally became my favorite album. Like
those are my favorite. Like, those are 5 years.
It unfolded for you. It blossomed.
It's like you find one little hook, like you kind of listening to it and you're like, what is this? And then like you find a hook in there and you're like, God, that is really cool. I'll just keep listening to that song because that's obviously all that's here for me. And then you like or get into it. You know what I mean?
Then the next track comes on and you like can't change it for some reason. You're like, whatever, I'll just listen to it. Like, oh, that part's good. I like that part. And then like the next track comes on, you're like, oh, I like that one.
You're like, oh, I like how it went into that part.
Yeah, it's literally like it's a gradual, like you're like, it's like, what was that one song? I don't know, was it track 3 or 9? I don't know, but there's one track on there that caught me a little bit more, and then you find that track, and then it's like a big book, like your next chapter. Okay, I got this one. Okay, next chapter. Like you like slowly pick up on it, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, every fucking song's a banger. It's like your favorite fucking song.
It's like you're like slowly upgrading the album. You know what I mean? Going through it, going like this one and this one, and that's it. Okay, and this one, and then this last track, I kind of like that one too. And then sooner or later, you're like, it's all fucking amazing.
Yeah. This is exactly my point. Everything that you said right now, and that we've attributed to Cynic, that is how I felt and still do about Under a Western Sun.
Well, thank you, man. That's like very high praise, I would say.
Yes.
That's
I mean,
fucking crazy.
I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Like I really do think it's one of the best albums in metal.
I agree. I guess we should have toured it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like that with pretty much any other kind of art, like movies, like the real good movies that stick with you for life are the ones that you find new shit every time you watch it.
Yeah, it's like
it a better movie after that watch.
We randomly watched Big Lebowski recently, and I did about.
I just fucking played that right tonight, dude. It's so funny that you just said that. I was playing. I literally chill out.
I literally watched the like a bunch of interviews on it and shit, and they were talking about how it fucking bombed when it came out. It was like one of the shittiest. And like I watched it's funny because I just randomly searched for it, and I watched a Siskel and Ebert review of it, and they were like, "This sucks."
Yeah,
like,
for
sure.
No,
fuck this thing. This thing is terrible. And like then all of a sudden, like 4 or 5 years later, it's like the #1 selling DVD. Like like dude, well, I mean, especially among like college people and stuff, like stoners and stuff.
One of the significant points in the movie that I totally forgotten is John Goodman fucking pulling out a gun because dude went over the line.
Oh yeah,
for sure. And he's like wanting an 8, and he's trying to tell him that he went over the line. He's like, market 0, dude. It's a league qualifier or whatever the fuck. To the point where he's pointing a gun dude's face. That's another thing too. Is like, what year does that movie take place? I didn't dig deep enough.
I think it's like
they're all talking about Nam, dude.
It's like 91.
Yeah, because they have Bush in the beginning, like talking about the aggression against Kuwait will not stand. And
which is the other
aggression
so good.
will not stand.
Well, one of the conspiracy theories about that movie is that, well, I mean, me and Cary talked about this. We watched it literally last weekend. But like in the very beginning, he's like, he's writing a check for the milk, because he went and got the milk, and he was trying him out, had like a milk mustache and shit
for like 69 cents. Yeah,
he's literally 69 cents. But the thing is, the date on the check is September 11th, 1991, and there's Bush in the background going like, "This aggression will not stand."
Yeah,
and like so 10 years later, September 11th, like it's like with the other Bush, like
and then he repeats that line. That's like,
I know,
so fucking funny when he's
so
like
good.
The guy, like he's like, replace my rug. He's like, so you think I should just replace every rug? Then he's just like, this aggression will not stand, man.
I know, he's all
so funny.
He's all he's getting it off Bush. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite like little details in anything. Not to like go off on a thing, but like The Sopranos used to do that a lot, where like Tony would hear a saying, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then he'd like repeat it back to Silvio, but it'd be all fucked up.
Yeah, he'd like repeat it wrong.
That stuff is just like, dude, that's just good writing, dude.
The one that stands out to me is when he's in therapy and he's talking about how he put his mom in this like really nice retirement. It's a retirement community. Anyway, and she's like, well, that's. His therapist is like, well, that's not really like, it's more like staying at a hotel in Cap Antigues.
Oh my god!
And which is like, you know, Captain Antique is like a like Caribbean getaway kind of place. And then he goes and he talks to his mom about it, and he's like, you know, this isn't even like a nursing home. This is more like a hotel at Captain Teague's.
Yeah,
and
Captain
like,
Teague's.
Who's that? And he's like, I don't know, some captain owns luxury hotels or something.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, dude. That's my favorite.
We just watched that whole fucking series while we were in the studio because me and Jeff and Boo Boo all stayed at the apartment that Dave has that's like for bands when they're in town. And so we had a lot of time, you know.
Talking about Dave Atera?
Yeah.
So what's up with the back of his head, dude?
Dude, it's fucking it's legendary. It's a legend. It's
some
people say that when you turn him around, it's just more back of head. It just never fades.
just keep turning him. It's just like a back of head always.
But yeah, we watched the whole series because our drummer fucking Jeff had never seen it, and I've seen The Sopranos like 900 times. And so yeah, it was cool because it was like he had all these questions, and I was like, yeah, you know, like you could do this and we could do that, and you know, there's all these little details that I feel like
it's always
you normally have
to
watch it 3 times to catch.
Yeah,
right?
No, there's like stuff like Taylor and I decided to watch it during quarantine because she was like, I haven't really seen the whole thing all the way to the end, and I was like, well, let's just start from the beginning. The first the pilot is a little rough.
Yeah,
like Tony has like a different voice and shit. It's like super fucked up. But
so should I watch The Sopranos?
Dude, you absolutely
never seen it?
Yes,
it's the best TV show ever made. It's like if you go on this
besides
is like
Twin
this is
Peaks,
the way I sell it every time is I'm just like, if you look up best TV shows of all time, you're gonna get a million different search results with like 100 different lists. Just go through the first 10, 15 that you find, and 100% of the time, number 1 and number 2 are a flip flop between The Sopranos and The Wire. 100% of the time, like on every single list, it's like
Breaking Bad is always like a close third.
Oh yeah,
Breaking Bad is always.
I've seen them all. I've seen all
sure.
3. They're all great. They're all insane. It's right. It makes sense.
No, but
I used to watch Sopranos after jamming on like a Sunday with Odious. It would come out on Sunday. So
you guys had like a framed Sopranos picture.
Totally, dude.
In the furniture dome.
I would drive down there.
Remember that? Which one was that?
We would plan our jams to end.
Oh, they were all hanging out. Yeah, you're right. Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, dude. and we would plan the jams to end before Sopranos started. Then I'd sit and watch Sopranos with you guys, and then drive back.
We totally would jam and watch Sopranos. That was like what we did.
It's amazing.
I remember my parents watching it, so I just always associate it with as an adult show, even though I've like become an adult and like watch adult things all the time. I'm just like, no, that's like for an adult. It's like I'm not.
Yeah. No, it still holds up. It still holds up quite well. I would watch it. It's good. Like I said, the pilot is like, you'll watch the pilot and be like, this is.
The pilot's really good. Okay, so I think the pilot's really good the first time you watch it, but after you've watched the whole series and then you go back and watch the pilot again, you're like, okay, this is kind of goofy.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Can we? Jared asked a question. Can we bring that?
Let's do it.
I think this has been covered for Greg on his episode, so maybe I'll focus it on Riley. But it's for Greg and Riley. Take us back to a time in your life. This is how we all start every episode. Take us back to a time in your life where there was a pivotal crossroad moment where you decided to take music seriously and resulted in you being where you are now.
Good question.
Headbangers Ball tour 2004, I want to say. I had been in bands for a couple years at that point. And I liked metal, and we were playing stuff, and like we were doing these little shitty shows, and like my first gig was at an ice rink, right? Like under full fluorescent lights, like on a makeshift stage, like, while a bunch of people were ice skating, we're like in corpse paint playing black metal. Like, it was ridiculous.
This is great. I love hearing that because everybody's had that story.
That's what defined my experiences, right? Like I had been to a couple like hardcore shows, right? Because it was right in the window and like metalcore was kind of on the rise, like 2001, 2002, when I was like 13, 14. And, metalcore was coming up. There were a lot of hardcore shows. Like I would go to these like little I went to like Christian school in middle school, so a lot of my friends in those early years in high school kind of carried over from there. So it was a lot of like Christian hardcore shows. I was listening to bands like, Evergreen Terrace and Nodes of Reindeer, and like, listening to a lot of stuff like that. But I didn't really get like the full experience, like the like, holy shit, this is what I want to do with my life, until I saw Headbangers Ball Tour. And it was Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, God Forbid, and Shadows Fall. And I saw it at the old House of Blues in San Diego, because there's a different one here now. They like moved buildings or some shit, but it was this old House of Blues, pretty small venue, but it was still like a packed show. Lamb of God did the Wall of Death during that one song. God, I can never remember what that fucking song is called. It was like off their first album, because all these bands were still like pretty early into their careers, right? Mm-hmm. And it was that one song that has the snare thing, right, where they go dun 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 cat cat
yeah.
cat cat.
What is that song? That's legendary.
He did like the Wall of Death thing, while they were doing the thing where he, it's like got the big build up, and then he's like, 1, 2, 3, go! Just everybody runs into each other. There were just like so many experiences about that show that like I could have never imagined, based off of like my pre-existing experiences in music and shows. And like it was for sure after that show that I was just like, yep, this is what I want to do. I want to be fucking.
How do you like God Forbid? Do you like God Forbid?
Dude, I loved God Forbid. I saw God Forbid the first time I saw them. No, that was the first time I saw them, and I saw them at Ozfest shortly after. I'm gonna see what year that was, because
isn't that the album called Determination or something like that? The first full length they did. I might be misquoting, but there was like Out of Misery was like an EP they did. But I had mentioned it recently on the Dallas episode, the Nile Narcotic Wasteland episode, and that was a pivotal moment too, like what you're saying, dude. That was like 15, 16 years old, seeing God Forbid. I saw a dude get kicked in his face and get taken out on a stretcher. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, it's just like people seem to be like, how you embellish your memory sometimes. It's like I feel like people were like hanging off the fucking rafters and shit. Just like it was all complete mayhem in Great American Music Hall. But God Forbid was one of those times where it was one of those bands that was like, first time seeing them was live, and I was like, dude, they fucking put on a sick.
I've never heard
show.
One God Forbid song.
Dude, I would say Anti-Hero, man.
Okay.
Anti-Hero is the fucking jam. That song.
Stereo.
Which album is that one on?
Tonight.
I would go. I would just to hit you with your new metal thing, Joel. Like Out of Misery and
Gone Forever. Gone Forever.
Oh, Gone Forever. Okay, yeah, that's because I'm talking about a show. My show was like 2001, so you say it's 2004. Definitely was that next Gone Forever album, which actually had some catchy shit. Which I remember seeing something like Killswitch Engage like changed a lot of guys' attitudes towards their music who were already doing music, and God Forbid was one of the bands that had mentioned that. And Gone Forever was kind of like a transition more into like the Killswitch Engage, really catchy like metalcore style.
Yeah, I'm listening to that Anti-Hero right now, just kind of the first few riffs. It definitely has that more melodic. I didn't think it was gonna be melodic.
So fucking sick, man. The chorus for this song is just fucking. Their singer was so fucking good at writing hooks.
Totally, dude, and he had a sick voice, dude.
Yeah, he had a really
his range was sick too. And that first full length that were from this band was actually kind of tech, and like there was times where I felt like they could like fit in on a Dillinger tour and shit like that, but still had catchy shit.
Yeah.
So Greg, what about your answer to that question from Joseph?
Greg, what are you texting Cary right now?
God,
we're just bemoaning new metal is what we're doing.
I know. Greg on his episode, he was like talking about how new metal was like this like super negative thing in his life that came through fucking, and like for me it was like I mean, it was
our transition.
The timeline
it's
of where we were.
It's like whatever hits you at that age, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of those important stepping stones that you still look back on. You're like, okay, thank you for
I don't like you too.
My way.
So I know people are gonna be mad at me. I don't like you too.
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't like you too.
I just
Cary, actually, I was like trying to. We were drunk last weekend, and listening to like, I was like, dude, but this new metal song, and he was just like, and Cary like made a stance like with his arms on his hips, like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
So it was pretty much my whole life.
Like pretty much, like he was literally like making this like the stance that I've never seen Cary made, like to like how much he hated something.
Well, I mean, if you're a dude that likes shred, it's definitely not in there, you know.
But wasn't
find shred new metal? What would be shred new metal? Joel, do you know anybody who shredded
new metal? That's like an oxymoron.
The thing about new metal is that like there wasn't a lot of shredding. There was no shredding in new metal. That wasn't.
There wasn't. It was groovy. It was all about the groove.
Yeah.
But the musicians were still really good. Like Wes Borland is a fucking really good guitar player. Like fucking like, but he plays for fucking Limp Bizkit, like the worst band ever. Like that's
exactly.
I think it's less. I think it
play their asses off.
Yeah, no, it's not about the musicianship, and it's like not like I was at the altars of shred. I mean, at that, you know, like especially like in my early teens, like 13. That's what we're talking about. 13, 14, like, you know, that kind of thing. Like it was just like the attitude of it just fucking rubbed me the wrong, you know, that fucking early 2000, like late 90s, early 2000s. Just
there was for sure like a type of new metal that I hated, like the broed out new metal, like Trapped, right? Like fucking even before they came out as being.
So you mean like all of it?
Yeah, like that.
Trapped is like that's not. I don't want to call.
That's the thing though. Is like that's not. I wouldn't say
not
that's all of it, because you had bands like fucking System of a Down, right? Fucking like System of a Down. Fucking
back it.
Like, I do not give a fuck what anybody says. Like that band is
those first two records. Fucking
is that band really new metal? Does it? Do they?
Dude,
well, I guess they are.
Yeah, I would say a lot of it.
I wouldn't say they're new metal, but they came out when new metal was humongous. So like you can't really compare them to a new metal band like musically. But the
Greg and I are older than all of you guys.
But they came
We're
out
just like
now. But they came out in a time like that's what was weird about new metals. Like there's a bunch of bands. Same with like grunge. Like you don't put Nirvana next to Alice in Chains, but they came out at the same time. And now Alice in Chains is like grunge. That's grunge now, which I wouldn't really call it grunge.
Dude, because did you know that Man in the Box was a huge hit before fucking Nirvana that came out?
But they also
Man in the Box was the first grunge. Like
I know what you're saying, but it's like
and Lane Staley,
but they're lumped in with. I know, but they're lumped in with like Mudhoney. Like, you know, it's like they're lumped in with like bands like that like it's not. I mean, I would say like if I were to like categorize, if they came out, let's say 10 years later, they wouldn't be grunge.
Well,
I don't think
the whole reason why we categorize
they'd be new metal. They'd be new metal.
We categorize things for a reason, dude. Because
if Dirt came out in '98, it would not be new metal, dude.
But if you're gonna say System of a Down sounds like
you think so?
Biscuit,
you think it would be new metal?
Thank you.
100%. Like
really,
the only thing, honestly, to me, the only
I never
thing,
thought of it, but I just don't think so.
The only thing that separates bands like Alice in Chains and System of a Down from like their not as good counterparts is the vocal harmonies. Like literally the only thing. Like
I think their composition is a little better, but I
never liked System of a Down, and to me, like Alice in Chains is so sick. So I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just
System's amazing.
My perspective is I just don't like. I have no connection with that band.
No, we're not comparing Limp Bizkit to fucking Alice in Chains.
Limp Bizkit? That's a whole nother thing.
What I'm saying is like, System of a Down is not a new metal band. You guys agree with me, right?
No, not at all. I totally think they're.
You think they are a new metal band?
I think absolutely.
Like who do they sound like? That's new metal.
To be honest, if you want my opinion, I would say that I don't know what they are, because it is something that sits right outside of it that fits well in that new metal. Like if you were going to put together a new metal bill,
yeah, you all know in your heart it's not. See, just
it's not.
Joel and Anthony and Green. I mean, Riley wants to go down with this argument.
I mean, Riley.
So, fly, bro.
Riley, who does System of a Down sound like in the new metal genre? Really, that's where I got you.
I guess kind of, but that's just because like they're unique. Like just because they're a unique new metal band, like doesn't mean they're not a fucking new metal band.
They were
because of all the other unique new metal bands. They're all sound the same, dude.
Like Coal Chamber, and System of a Down sounded exactly the same. But
yeah.
But my point is they're in the parlance of their times, man.
They're almost gypsy metal.
This podcast has entered the gutter, and we are
no, but like,
in the gutter right now.
Come on,
I'm just
saying, Greg agrees with me.
Greg knows. No, I'm just saying a band because they came up in the same they came up with other new metal bands at the same time into popularity.
Okay,
got labeled
you know
as
what?
new metal.
Deftones. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that like Deftones and System of a Down have more in common than a band like Saliva and Trapped. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because those bands are just like commercialized clones of what Deftones and System of a Down did, and like Tool, right?
And thus not new metal.
No, it is. That's like what started new metal, and then it's like At the Gates and metalcore. Like,
do you think
let's
like
bring
Tool
it to a
is like new metal then?
We've had a million times, right? It's like At the Gates and metalcore. Like At the Gates.
Oh yeah,
sounds like a metalcore band.
Sure,
but like they're not a metalcore band. They're like melodic Gothenburg death metal band, but like they sound like a fucking metalcore band.
That's a very fair point. You're right.
So like metalcore then kind of came out and took all the best elements of that and like refined it and like made it commercialized. Like and for that reason, I would be like, yeah, like fucking At the Gates is a fucking metalcore band. Like they fucking sound like metalcore. It looks like metalcore. If it sounds like metalcore,
yeah, but like they took, but that's like a post genre.
But that's totally what I say about System of a Down.
They started metalcore.
Because System of a Down's first album came out in like 92, like fucking like.
So
but I'm saying if a band plays like a certain style, that's Swedish death metal, and then like another band comes later and takes that and uses it for something, that's metalcore. It's a separate.
So their first album came out in '98, right? Which was like right when new metal was kind of a thing.
I'd be eating my cereal before high school, like seeing MTV music videos of what was the fucking Sugar.
Yeah.
Fucking Adrenaline from Deftones came out in '95, right? Like Opiate from Tool came out in '92, right? So it's like you had it's kind of just like a natural progression of like all these bands that like started what ended up being new metal, but like all those elements of those bands, especially from those early periods, were very like it's like what made new metal what new metal became like fucking
right, but you wouldn't call you wouldn't call
but that's the thing is
metalcore, so you wouldn't call System of a Down new metal.
I would call Adrenaline new metal. I would call System of a Down self-titled new metal. I would call Opiate new metal 100%, 150 fucking percent.
What
would I call Lateralis new metal? No, but like
so do we call At the Gates metalcore?
Yes.
Now
we
got I love you, Riley. I just don't agree on that, but I love you, and I appreciate what you're saying. But I just don't.
In hindsight perspective,
it's okay,
I think.
Yeah, it's just
Riley biting the bullet. I love it, dude.
I like your ideas bringing. No, for sure. No, I love your ideas.
Greg, what's your favorite
for something? You are that.
Yeah, so
like you're just the first one.
Yeah,
like,
I just love Greg's face.
But you are
Greg's face during this whole thing is like my favorite thing in the world. Like Greg's face.
I know.
I've never held urine longer in my life, dude. I just love watching all this right now.
I know you can't do it. Just pee your pants, Anthony. It's worth it.
All right. Now that Casey told me
I still want Greg to answer Joseph's question.
No, I'm
just yeah.
Forget what the question was.
So Joseph, can you repeat that question? That was
when did you kick Riley out of Elite? No, I'm just kidding. It was a very actually nicely worded question by Jared. He was
Jared's right.
And he's still in the chat, and chat's going off right now. Shout out.
Fuck
it was
shout out chat.
Take us back to a time in your life where there was a pivotal crossroad moment where you decided to take music seriously and resulted in you being where you are now.
Dave Ellefson.
I lived in a very sheltered, like my parents were super overprotective, so I wasn't allowed to like watch like The Simpsons or shit, So, whenever I go on a sleepover to someone that like had cable or something like that, we were up like until 2, and Seasons of the Abyss came on Headbangers Ball. And life was never the same. Like at that time, I didn't know who the band was. I didn't know anything. I just knew that was like, that's what I want to do. Like that right there, I want to just play in the desert in Egypt. You know.
Oh, you just filmed in a bunch of sand dunes. So
I was about to say.
one step closer.
I mean, I was there.
He was orchestrating.
I hiked gear a mile to fucking watch them like film for 30 minutes. But
yeah, sand dunes.
God. Did you literally just do that yesterday?
Yeah, I'm so exhausted right now. Yeah, so like they decided to film at the sand dunes at Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado.
Can we talk about the context behind this, or do you want to keep it vague?
I can't really talk about it. But
okay.
like
anyway,
so
yeah, no.
Drove 4 hours to the park. We get there, and then we start looking at like where we can film where there isn't like 80 million people, and it's like, oh, we have to go over there beyond that green stuff. Right? And someone's like, oh, that doesn't look too far. I'm like, those people are very small. Anyway, you have to cross a river to get there, right? It turned out to be over a mile. So we had to carry gear a mile to the film. 3 trips like a person. And I am so sore.
Cary Geare
right
jokes,
now.
Please.
So sore. Like my body is just wrecked. And because you had to cross a river, of course I couldn't wear shoes. So my feet are just shredded.
Damn.
How long did it take to walk a mile with all that gear?
Dude, it probably took us about 3 hours to load.
Whoa.
Jesus.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the worst load-in I've ever experienced.
And that's way worse than the narrow stairs.
Yeah.
But,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say you should have rented like a quad or something like to. I mean, I'm just here.
We had no clue that's what it was gonna be. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea of calling like grass or shrubs or something just green stuff. You know what I mean? Like we need to get beyond the green stuff.
The green stuff.
There's too much of this fucking blue shit in the back, dude. We need to. It's got to look like a desert. We can't have any of the blue or green shit around.
Oh man. So Seasons of the Abyss, that was it. So you saw the song Seasons of that one without like in the Egyptian one, right? It's like Egyptian kind of related. Yeah. That to me too. I mean, for me actually with Cary, I've Cary on the podcast. We went and saw Cannibal Corpse when we were kids, and basically just watching like the opening bands for Cannibal Corpse. This is probably 2001 or 2 or 3, I don't even know, something around there. And just watching like the opening bands, because Cary and I had just recently become obsessed with them. We were like recently like just got into them, and they're playing the Slims.
You were gore obsessed.
Yeah, exactly. We were. That was the album. That was the album that was coming.
That was the album that had just came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we got like super into them.
And we literally like went to the show, and like what's his name, Jack Owen or whatever, was like right next to us, like, and we're like, dude, that's fucking him right there, dude. We were like freaking out, like totally, just like totally. I remember it was like people were talking to him, like, dude, people are talking to him, dude. That's insane. Like he's responding to the people. That's insane. Like we were like they were on this such high pedestal to us, and just watching the bands that were like opening for them, and I forget what bands they were. They were like bands that don't exist anymore, but they were like, you know, up and coming like metal blade bands and stuff. And just watching them and just like watching them set up and stuff, I'm just sitting there staring at them like, dude, this is the dream come true. Imagine just like being them right now. Like, and it's like the first band opening for like half the crowd, and I'm just like staring at them going like, man, they're about to open for Cannibal Corpse. Like this.
You don't remember who it is, dude?
No, it was a band that it was like a one album wonder band. I forget what name they were. They were just like a new metal blade band that I think that came and went. Maybe they signed one of those like what you were talking about, Greg, on the podcast. One of those.
It was new metal.
Sorry. Do you remember any
new metal blade?
Any of the other bands at that show?
I think Cephalic played. Cephalic played.
What tour was this or show? I can look it up.
It was Cannibal Corpse and Cephalic Carnage.
And I think I might be mixing this up, but I remember
I thought it was Cannibal Cephalic Deeds.
That was another one. That was later. That it was right before that. It was the last time.
Both of those bands that continued, they're not one-off bands at all.
No. This is it's like first of something.
You know that one-off band, Cephalic Carnage.
yeah.
Had that one hit way back in the day. It's a new metal band. Cephalic Carnage is new metal.
That Lucid Interval song.
We all know that.
Yeah.
New hydro metal.
So that
Metal.
tour,
I love those guys, man.
that tour was
Me
Cannibal
too,
Corpse, Malevolent Creation, Hate Eternal, Macabre, Deeds of Flesh, and Cephalic Carnage.
I saw that. I don't know if Cary, if you were at that one, but I was there for
I
sure.
don't know if I saw Macabre.
We saw Macabre. I remember
Macabre's
was this at Slim's?
dude.
It was at Slim's again. That was
Yeah,
at
it was
Slim's.
at Slim's, right?
But there was one before this. It was before this. It was called like First to Fallen or something. It wasn't that cheesy, but it was like something like that. But
have you seen? So has anybody seen Macabre here?
I have. No, I saw that show.
I have never seen Macabre.
So he sings with the head.
with Macabre.
Oh, okay.
Really?
He sings with a headset.
Cephalic Carnage, Macabre.
I saw him at
That's
Maryland
fucking
Death
awesome.
Fest. He had a headset while he was playing guitar, and he has some of the weirdest yells that you would hear, dude. And they sell like serial killer related Chef Boyardee at their merch table and shit.
That was like their claim to fame was that they took a picture, like their band picture was at Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment or something, right? That was like,
or it was at the Ambassador Hotel or something.
This was the apartment. This was the apartment,
like the 213 apartment.
That
Or the
213
apartment
is
building.
the Ambassador. I think 213 is Ambassador. I think. But
I think you got it backwards, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
I never went. yeah. I was always looking at the Ambassador Hotel when we played in Milwaukee and be like, "That's scary, dude. I'm not going over there." I don't know.
It's
Something
weird
about
how a
Jeffrey
building
Dahmer
can have
just
creepy vibes just because of some shit that happened.
Well,
there.
because the Ambassador Hotel in Milwaukee was
I
the
remember
one
that.
where where like he like lobotomized a guy and he was naked and ran out in the street and the cops got the guy and Jeffrey Dahmer caught up with the cops and was like, "Oh no, it's just my boyfriend. He's just all pissed." And the cops were like, "All right, here you go." And Jeffrey was like,
And he was underage,
him
too.
off, dude.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, dude.
"Yeah."
They have a song called Ambassador Hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
On the album.
Yeah.
Macabre does.
I remember playing that venue.
There's plenty of literature on all that
Yeah.
shit. You never stop having content for songs, dude.
Yeah, that's like the most popular listened to podcast is about serial killers and stuff like that. It's like all that shit's out there. Yeah, I mean, that was like watching that first like scared band up there. I could tell they were kind of like nervous, and I was just like, I'm like, dude, they're probably making like all this money. They're fucking like, that's my brain was going down this road, just like, because I'm just seeing like I know Cannibal's coming up, which I'm about to lose my mind, and I'm watching this opening band and just like idolizing them, and I didn't like their music at all, but I was still just like, dude, this band is like made it. This is the goal. This is now the goal. Like,
yeah,
that was it.
No, totally. Riley, this might have been the genesis for the crushing of the dreams of Under Western Sun. Is when we did that show with Between the Buried and Me, the secret show. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, at the Slide Bar in Fullerton, which is gone now, by the way.
No, don't tell me
COVID.
that.
COVID. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
Slide
didn't
Bar in
know that.
Fullerton is no more. Yeah.
Jesus.
I was just talking about it today with Allegion's manager, trying to plan making contingency plans because I like having those, and every time I talk to him and he's like, "Yeah, we'll see." I'm just like, "No, we won't. Like, we're not gonna see shit. We're gonna have a plan in case this other thing doesn't happen." So
yeah,
we
so many venues
talked about that.
Can I just say the Slide Bar, every show I went there was free. They never charged a fucking door price.
Yep.
And it was so sick, and they have good sound and good bands, and that's where I played with Archaic, like Transcend the Realm Upend, and we've played there a few times, and it's always been so sick. And
hell yeah,
breaks
man.
my heart, dude.
Yeah, it sucks. It was a really good time. I remember.
But you played there with BT Bam, okay?
Yeah, and it was all I was gonna say is like just I remember they had the bandwagon. Remember that thing you could rent? You know what I mean? Big. It was cool, and it was something about those guys are super awesome, and they hung out with us, and like it was really cool. But there was something in the back of my lizard brain. I was just like, these guys are like so like burnt out. You know what I mean? There was something about it where I was just like, okay, you can be BT Bam, like one of the best. One of the greatest metal bands, big draw, you know what I mean? Like a big deal.
Great
just
fucking show.
Yeah, and just seeing it was the end of their tour and stuff.
Yeah,
so it was probably like not a good like look, you know what I mean? But I just remember just being like, fuck, man, like this is the life, man. You're just on the road with the bandwagon, you know what I mean? And it just I remember that there was that one, and there was a couple other times where just meeting other bands that had been on tour a long time, you know, and it was it was just interesting just seeing the toll that it could take, you know what I mean? Not that like BT Bam were like, you know, drunken and passed out or anything, you know, like it wasn't like that. It was just like, it just seemed like they could finally like exhale after this like big long tour they had been on and stuff, and they were just like I don't know, it was just seeing that like just pure exhaustion, you know what I mean? It was just being on the road.
Yeah, seeing a band that you really look up to and see them just like crushed a little bit, just like
I wouldn't even say it was like that. It was just they were just tired. It was the end of like they had just done like a 40-day like long ass North America run, and then they did this like secret show in Fullerton like right afterwards, and it was just one of those like ready to go home type of things. But the thing is that like I love that feeling. You know what I mean? Like that very end of tour, like I know I'm going to be sleeping in my bed the next day type of feeling is like, it's so gratifying.
It's like starving yourself and then eating a Thanksgiving dinner or something.
Like it's like I was about to say like kind of the same thing, is that it's like, it's gotta be one of the, it's like this, you know, if you do intermittent fasting for 6 weeks and then you like your first day back where you fucking just like get to eat whatever you want for a minute. Like, that it's just the feeling of hard work paying off is what it is. Sure. Is it's like it's coming like fuck yeah, we did this whole tour, another notch on the belt, time to go home, you know, for whatever, and then just like get ready for the next one.
There's something about like just being humans and stuff, some stuff that you're used to, stuff that you do every day, and it gets taken away from you, and you're doing your own, you know, on the road doing your stuff, and that your normal kind of cycle's gone, and then you're like the small things you look like when you're on the road, you're like, fuck, I remember when I could just like walk up to like my refrigerator and like grab a thing and go back and like and just turn on the TV and just like chill, and there's like I don't have to talk to a bunch of people.
Dude, like I used to be able to just get like a glass of water. Remember that? Like just like like get a glass of water whenever you wanted.
It's like I have to shit. I'm gonna go shit right now. We don't have to pull over to. There's no like a flying J. Like I'm gonna take a flying privacy. Like, shit right.
No, trying to like plead your way into an employee bathroom in New York City or something.
Exactly.
Just on the spot, and you're
just
like,
gotta show up in a
10-minute window. Please.
Dude, I remember our very first tour. Joel and Anthony, we did the Bloodletting 5, like 2006, and we were just like such noobs, and struggling on the road, like go to Taco Bell and all this kind of stuff, and just try to like survive and stuff. And we were like a lot of shows in, like I can't remember how many, but like we were like super burnt and just like, oh man, we haven't had a good meal in so long. And then we ended up coming back like to the West Coast, and we stopped like by my uncle and aunt's place in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, that was
near Red Rocks, and I was talking to you, Greg, about that. So it's in Morrison, is like the town, and they were just like, come over here. Come stay with us. And we're just like, oh, we were like driving to them, like so excited. And we show up, dude, they're so sweet, dude. My aunt had like, like fajitas, like all prepared, like, fucking tortillas, like all this shit, like so sick. And like, they like live on a golf course, like rocky, red rocks everywhere, and jacuzzi. It was like,
those situations are like oases in the desert.
It was an oasis, dude. Exactly.
And you see it in the distance, and it's actually real when you get there. It's not a fucking fake out. The oasis we got
there, dude. So Cary just posted in the chat. We got a Shara. So Shara,
dude,
what up, Shara?
Porto, Portugal, like 100%.
So she says, what's a favorite city you played a show at so much that you would consider vacationing there or living there?
Porto, Portugal. Like, I have never been to a more fucking magical city in my entire life. Like, we played that, or we played in like the Italian countryside once. You remember the fucking dogs on the roof? Yeah. We played in the Italian countryside in this town called Ritterbito, in Italy, and that was also like incredible. Like that whole experience, just like driving from like the countryside into the town, and like, you know, doing the like Italian sit down restaurant thing with like all the courses and like the, you know, the limoncello at the end, and like it was just like, it was so sick. And that was really, really cool. We went to like a little like tucked away village, and it was just super beautiful. But something about Porto, Portugal, like just the way it's all, like, it feels so like old world, right? Like what you would imagine like walking through an old villa would feel like. And then you have like the like commerce part of the city where it's like just two different sides of like shops and like stands and storefronts just like on either side of this super beautiful river. And like it's just like, I don't know, it's impossible to put into words how magical that place was.
Did you drink any Porto in Porto?
I did drink port wine. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Just a little dessert wine, you know, after dinner.
Very dry wine. Lots of seafood, obviously. But yeah, that was definitely the spot.
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
No, it was
all right.
There was actually there was a I forget the town, but we played in Estonia too, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
I've got a very boring answer, which is like I played this place called the Catalyst in Santa Cruz. It seemed like a really cool place to live.
Like right near the beach. There's
yeah,
like roller coasters.
It's real temperate. You know, it's just, it doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold. There's no air conditioning when it gets really hot, but no, it's a good place to live.
I'm gonna take a phone call real quick, guys. Sorry.
Go for it.
No worries. But the place that I keep wanting to vacation to for sure is Manhattan. I don't know. Just something about it, like it's so otherworldly there. Like the first time I went there, it was like very strange, especially driving around Manhattan, like trying to find a place to park the van and shit, like all that shit. Where it's like you're gonna get a taste of the, you know, get a taste of the city here a little bit, you know, and just the canyons of buildings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just
Greg's got his horn stuck. What's that?
Wait,
we both spoke of so Greg getting his horn stuck.
Yeah. Oh man, the worst possible place.
Those motherfuckers.
That literally is probably the hardest I've laughed at a video, and like just your reaction to it, like you. Yeah. So fucking just
there's a video. Everyone can look it up.
Yeah, there's a video of fucking like you guys like, you know, do that thing with the brakes where you connect it to the horn, so every time you hit the brakes you can like flip a switch.
We had our mechanic wire our brake pedal to our horn, and then install a switch that we could turn on and off, and like it was there for like 2 tours, and he would hit me up because he's like, I'm gonna, like, one person needs to be wise to it. I choose you. And like I told a couple of the other guys, and it was just like, you know, we gotta do this, because it had been like 2 tours that it had been on there that we just didn't do it. And he would hit me up being like, dude, when are you going to do the horn thing? I'm like, I'm just waiting for the right moment. And
I love the idea that it's been hooked up this entire time.
It's just got a switch, just like a toggle switch that
there's
at a gas station.
I'm not going to say where it is, because that's the one secret that I still have, is that it's like no one knows where the switch is but me.
I love that it's still a secret, dude.
And so we're driving like in downtown Manhattan, like thick of traffic in fucking New York City, and
I was in front of a cop. Right there when they hit it. It's like a $3,000 fine for excess honking.
It is, dude. It's crazy.
The only reason I don't think we got a ticket is he saw me with my hands up. Like, I'm not fucking doing this.
The signs are up too. It's like if you have your excess honking, you get charged like fucking over $1,000 or something. Yeah.
Where's the video? Someone asks in chat. Is it a YouTube video?
I'm trying to find it right now. Really, do you have it on yours?
Oh, that'd be great.
Definitely on our Instagram.
Oh, I found it. I got it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
please, I want to see it.
This is
so
like
bad.
literally like the hardest I've laughed at like any random video of my friends. Like I was literally crying at this. This was like I watched this. I showed this to my parents. Like okay, this is it right here.
Yes.
So okay.
No, you just bought. I'm not doing this, I swear. What the fuck is going on? It's connected to the
brake pedal. No. What are you talking about? What are you talking?
In New York, you guys serious? I'm just gonna have to put it in park.
So good, dude. That gets me every time.
So that was obviously the first time that happened. They got you a second time though, too. He said.
No, I don't.
No,
that was just one time.
It's one of those jokes that it's like once they figure it out, it's hard to get them with it again.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean? And like
turn it off.
Everybody's wise to it at this point, so it's like you know. I think if we hire a driver, you know, it's a good one. It's a good one to do them.
I don't think we're going in that van ever.
Yeah, again. I was about to say. I think that van has seen its last.
So that means you could tell where the fucking secret switch is. Then we could break it.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Everybody knows where it is except me.
Really?
Yeah, everybody knows where it is.
I swear. I think Mikey knows where it is because I was sitting filming you on like the far side. So it's all right. I'll tell everybody. I'll disclose it.
It's only me who doesn't know.
It's on the bench. It's on the bench seat. It's underneath the bench, like to the far left, like right behind the driver's seat. There's a little like
switch it from inside the cab.
Little flippy switch. It's not like a button. It's like one of these guys.
Toggle.
And it's like it's like hanging down from the bench on the left. So you just have to like reach under and like
flip it to one side.
And then and then the brakes are connected to the horn. And then when you want it to stop, you just click it back. It's yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
That's definitely my favorite part of the podcast tonight, figuring that out. Because I've watched that video. I'm probably like half the hits on that video, the thousands of hits. It's like me like just rewatching that and just crying, laughing. Just Greg's like natural reaction of like, what?
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's good tour prank. Good tour prank for sure.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Classic. Actually not classic. I've never heard of anybody busting it except for
classic.
Yeah.
Well, once I actually saw that video, I went on YouTube and watched like other people doing it too, because it's a common thing. People like construction workers do, like fuck with the shit and like they wire it that way, and there's some pretty funny ones on there. But that Greg's reaction is still second to none. Sorry, buddy.
We love you, Greg.
We love you.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
So how long did you guys spend in Dave Atera's studio, and what's it like spending an entire time out recording an album like that?
We were there for a month. I flew in on April 19th and left on May 21st. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. Like it's super hands-on, right? Like when you're there, because and for the sake of respecting privacy, I'm not going to disclose exact locations, but let's just say that the apartment that we stay in is not far from his studio. So it's basically the kind of thing where it's like you get up and like within minutes you're in the studio. Like you get up, take a shower, get dressed, wait for him to give you the green light because he's all set up and ready to go. Everything's all warmed up with his computer and all that kind of stuff, and then you just head over and you're there. So it's like
so with an apartment, you guys got your own kitchen and shit.
Yeah,
you're doing your
it's like
grocery shopping and cooking.
Like a 2-bedroom type of thing. Little living room, kitchen, single bathroom. Yeah, it's like a proper like Airbnb style apartment.
What was the dopest meal you guys had that month at the apartment?
We all like us and Dave and his lady and all the band guys, we all did like a big fucking barbecue, and Dave like slow cook smoked these ribs all day, and nice. Boo Boo has this like secret family baked bean recipe. And it's like the best fucking beans I've ever had in my entire life. Like they are so fucking good. And so he made those. We had a lot of Thai food. That was always good. We had a lot of Thai food over there, but I ate mostly like a piece of shit. Like we had a kitchen, and like for the first week I did like meal prep and was like trying to stick with like the healthy diet thing that I was doing, but it just got to a point where it's like everybody's trying to eat at the same time. Like we have a limited window of time to do it. And like, unless you have meal prep done, which, you do on the weekend, I guess, but that was kind of spent like hanging out and catching up with people.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, I guess we're going to go hit a fucking KFC or a McDonald's or a fucking Taco Bell or some shit. And just like, so it was a lot of fast food. We did go to this one place. What was that place called? Like Punch Out or some shit. That like bar grill thing that we went to, where I got that big ass fucking pretzel.
Like a Bavarian pretzel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Coming with some beer cheese.
It was called Punch Out.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like some boxing pun, like knockout or punch out or some shit like that. But that place was good. I had a big ass shrimp sandwich and like one of those like big old pretzels they serve to you on like a hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely
on a hook and a shrimp sandwich.
His meal was gonna be.
What? Oh yeah. I ordered because I was like, I'll get a pretzel and a sandwich because I'm pretty hungry. And then they brought out the pretzel and I was like, this is a loaf of bread. Like this is a whole fucking meal. Huge. And so I was like, does anyone want to share this? And they're like, no, not really. So like I eat this whole fucking pretzel, and by the time they bring my sandwich out, I was just like,
it's like a classic tap room thing. Like appetizer,
like
just fucking big old Bavarian pretzel.
Yeah, it was
stone ground mustard.
It was really good though. It was really, they served it with that beer cheese, the like pub cheese type of shit.
Yeah.
That shit was
bomb.
It was real good.
Shit's bomb.
They just like tapped you out, dude. They're all welcome to Mike Tyson's Punch Out, dude.
Yeah.
That's our bar.
Yeah.
And
and we're punching you out, dude.
One of the waiters was that boxer who spits in your eyes, and it was great. It was great.
it was like Glass Cheeks Larry and stuff like that, dude. There's some
our waitress was also very nice at that place. I remember she was super cool. She was one of those, because it's like, when people see us sitting in a restaurant, they're always like, y'all in a band? And we're like, yeah, they're like, oh, well, what kind of music? And we're like, oh, like heavy metal, I guess. And so it was kind of like going down that rabbit hole.
Christian rock.
Yeah. And then she was like, oh, well, I'm into metal, which like, usually when a waiter or a waitress says that to you after you're like, yeah,
it's gonna be like Disturbed or
something. They're like, yeah, I love like Metallica, right? But then she was like, yeah, no, I listen to like fucking like Knocked Loose and shit. And I was like, oh, word, fucking, that's cool. Hey, I have a Metallica shirt. Forgot. Sorry. But yeah,
Girl, she was like, I'm into fucking System of a Down and At the Gates, the original metalcore band. Do you know of them?
But no, she was like actually into like a lot of like modern hardcore stuff. She was like, naming all these fucking super sick like Power Trip and Knocked Loose and all those kind of bands, and I was like, oh fuck, you're pretty tight.
Yeah.
And she was super nice. So I think I don't know if the food itself was that great, but that experience was nice. So yeah,
respect to Power Trip. Yeah.
So back in the day, that was like the only way to like record music was like go in and like record in a studio like that. So do you feel like you like kind of understand more about how music prior to like 2005 was like made based on this experience?
I mean, I've only ever recorded albums in like a proper studio.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, even when I was like a kid, like the first thing that I ever recorded was with my band Shadows Prophecy in like 2002.
What up?
Weird
recordings,
weird power metal.
Shadows
stuff.
Prophecy.
It was like Children of Bodom, but not good. And even that was like in a studio, in a booth, and like doing the whole shebang. So I don't think I've ever actually like recorded something that I've like put out on a proper release at like in like a home studio type of situation. So for me, it was very much just like back at it. This is my third record that I've done with Dave. So there's like a chemistry there, and you know, same spot every time. He hasn't moved studios in a long time. So for me, it was very
familiar environment.
Yeah, very familiar environment. And it's cool going back to a place like that because it's like we can just get right to it. You know what I mean? Like there's not the awkward like getting to know each other phase where, you know, neither of us are really comfortable throwing ideas at each other yet, or like shooting down ideas more so. You know, that working chemistry just isn't there generally the first time you record with someone, and like it gets built, you know what I mean, like over the week or two that you're recording your parts. But it's nice now at this point that I've like spent so much time recording with him to just be able to like jump into it and just like know each other's vibes and all that kind of stuff. I think I was more cranky on this record, especially towards the end than I was on other records. But I think that has a lot to do with like I was trying a lot of new stuff. I do a lot of different things on this record, and some of the parts were just like difficult areas of my voice to access, and the frustration was definitely starting to show when I was like starting to get vocal fatigue and all that kind of shit. So I think that might be new, new thing Dave had to deal with for me. I'm usually pretty like chilled out and like, yeah, dude, let's do it. But this time I was just like, fuck, like I was just getting super fucking annoyed and heated, and you know, not at him, but just at like my inability to perform.
Yeah.
But you know, we pushed through it, and the album ended up sounding fucking great. I'm very happy with the end result. Well, the almost end result. We're still in the final stages, but yeah.
But I think if you're like pushing for something that's like better, and like you're pushing yourself, you know, it's like you're gonna get frustrated, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Natural,
for sure. It's like, why am I not perfect at this yet?
Yeah, you're like, fuck, you know, that's okay, you know.
Yeah.
You're trying, man. You know?
All right, listen, guys, I got to peace out.
Yeah, I think we should probably start. Look at Greg. Everyone, look at Greg.
He's a sleepy boy.
Oh man,
look at this boy. Let's wait. Can we? I feel bad because Anthony was like taking a dump or something, but like,
oh, do we want to wrap the whole thing up? We can do. I can wait.
Oh, dude, let's leave. Just let him come back, and it's over.
It's just gone.
Right when he said something, he's like, "All right, so I want to ask you about 1997." You're just like, good night.
Just talking to a screen of himself.
Yeah. So, is there any approximate date when the new Allegaeon comes out? Or
I'd say Q1 next year is what we're looking at.
Q1.
You're definitely going to get some new music before 2021 is over.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I can't give you firm dates at this point.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're just stoked on your project. You know.
Come on, Anthony. Sit the fuck down.
All right,
Jesus.
Anthony.
Jesus, that bald ass head. Hey, buddy.
Dude, a Nature Valley fucking granola bar with some peanut butter, dude. You can't fuck with it, dude.
He was making food. That's what he was doing. He was making food.
No, we're gonna wrap this up. Carrie's got a bail, and Greg's literally asleep. He's like his eyes are open.
It's all good, dude. I love you guys. This was great.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, this was exactly what I wanted it to be. Just
Thanks
a fucking bro down.
Thanks for hitting me up, Casey. Happy to
Riley, nice surprise too, dude.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Greg.
Riley, I have something to mention before you leave.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to interrupt the signing off of everyone else, but I was going through an old file on my computer, and I found all the Konos pre-pro shit that I had done, and decided to just do it.
You should absolutely
myself.
send that to me.
So I've been just programming all the bass and drums, and a lot of it was already written, and I have like a lot of the songs, like both guitar parts and some of the shit that Shane wrote, and I'm just adding to that. And I haven't talked to anyone about it. It's just been me so far, but I just kind of want to do it for me. But if you wanted to get in on it, that would be really sick.
So you know what's really funny is I actually found while I was moving an old notebook that has like all of my like on paper Kanos lyrics.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, there it is, dude.
Yeah. So I'd be super down. Make some revisions to those and record some shit. That'd be fun.
That was the thing I was scared of. Is I'm like, you probably don't remember the lyrics or any of it, and I don't know if I want to ask you to write new lyrics or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll run it by the other guys. But even if it's just for private, whatever, it's a good practice for me to get pre-pro shit going, and I'll record the guitars. And anyway, so
tight.
Yeah, that's the thing. So let's
you guys
talk
heard
about
it here first.
Dude, Kanos hype.
Yeah, Kanos hype, dude.
Woo.
Get hype.
Yep.
It's gonna be sick as fuck, dude. Like 09, like Portal-esque tech death metal, super sick shit.
That band was fucking rad.
But to Cary and Greg, super fun.
All right, love you guys,
dude. Super
love
fun,
you.
dude. And Riley, sick surprise, dude. This was great tonight. Thanks to everybody who was hanging out with us. Alluvial, we're gonna have a very near future rescheduled episode for you guys. We'll when we know when it is, it'll be in the next couple of weeks or so. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys, and thanks for all the subscribers. Hit all those fun buttons that help us out, and we'll be here next week. Right on, guys.
Love you guys.
Love you. All of them.
Love you guys.
All of them.